All right. We're live. Give me a quick second. We're gonna do something a little different today. We're gonna have a discussion. Yesterday was a bit disturbing for me. So give me a quick second here while I pull up my sound bites. Um, heck with it. We'll just go with this. Ah, scared myself. Had I had to pin the comment. What's up, Tanya? Nice to have you in here. Today's going to be a hopefully not so stressful stream. I know yesterday was kind of a whirlwind. We will discuss. What's up, Dabin? Nice to have you in here. A couple more people, and then we'll get this party started. You know what? I need to grab my drink. Can you guys hang just for a sec? Blue Unicorn, good morning, man. I mean, it's early for you, Blue Unicorn. Hey, Blue, thanks for being a member. And Tanya, same thing. You're still awake? Damn, dude. All right, give me a quick second. I need to grab my beverage so that way we can have a good show. Hang tight. Okay. Okay. I hear you, Vicente. Um, I'm not too happy with the Supreme Court either. That's going to be part of this discussion. What's up, Sasquatch? Nice to have you in here. SS Strange, what's up, man? Nice to have you in here, buddy. Haven't seen you in a while, man. How you been? Yeah, we're gonna discuss a little bit of that, Vincent. Thank you for being in here. Hit that like button if you haven't already. I say that, and I haven't even hit my own like button. Okay, now I did. All right. Um, let's get started. Different intro music this morning, little different. All right, welcome everybody into an informal, kind of impromptu discussion. I want to talk about what happened yesterday. Nampic, don't worry about it, bro. I always tell people I saw your comment, and you never have to apologize for missing something. The fact that you went back and watched it is fantastic. So no worries there. Hospital. Oh my God, strange. Wow. Hope you're okay, dude. Wow. King Charles, welcome. What in the Santana is going on here? Well, we'll get into that, King Charles, but thank you for being here. Alan B. What's up, Alan? My good friend Alan in the house. What's up, man? Nice to have you here. Um, we're going to have a discussion on what happened yesterday. Now, if you didn't see the videos yesterday, uh, I titled them basically what I titled this particular discussion, Aurora versus the Unhoused. Day one yesterday. K. Dot and I knew that there was going to be some shenanigans in regards to, you know what? I hate this term unhoused, and that's something else we're going to talk about too. What's up, Pinche Becky? Nice to have you here. Nancy Alley in the house. What's up? Uh, you don't have to wear your tuxedo. No, no. That's why it's informal. If it's formal, you got to wear the tux, right? 357. Happy third to you. Um, I think we should go back to using the term homeless because it goes to the heart of the problem. These people do not have houses or housing, right? Um, so you put your tux on, Tanya? Very good, very good. That's okay. You're welcome even in a tux, even in an informal discussion. So no worries there. Okay, so yesterday I did two videos. I wasn't expecting to really even do one video yesterday. Housing deprived. Matthew, welcome, buddy. Um, I look. I want to address something. I know there's a lot of drama going around in the community, and it's sad because we've got more pressing issues to deal with, like what we're discussing right now. And what we're discussing now speaks to the heart of why this country is in decline. It has nothing to do with Democrats. It has nothing to do with Republicans, which I believe is the true problem in this country. We have only two parties, and I can't stand either one of them. Okay? Not the people. The people that are Democrats are fine people, just like the people that are Republicans are, for the most part, fine people. It's ridiculous that this country is divided into two factions, right? I think it's this is the downfall of our nation, amongst other things, right? Think it was either George Washington or Ben Franklin, I can't remember, one of the founding fathers, that said two parties is the death of this nation or a death of a nation, something of that, you know, um, to that effect. The rich want to run this country. They wanted being homeless. So they have more control. We're going to touch on that too, Tanya. Yeah, it was Ben Franklin. Thank you, Blue Unicorn. I always forget. Um, Blue Unicorn has a great song, and it's called Operation Bullshit. And I highly recommend that you guys check out that song because it talks about unending wars and the bullshit that we got to deal with and all that, right? Um, but there is a growing problem in this country, and I think this is going to sound shocking to a lot of you, but I think the death knell of this country has already rung the bell, right? I think it's almost there. We're almost to the point where this mighty experiment that we've had, that we've enjoyed for all of our lives, and you know um, well, some of us, right? Some of us. Um, it's almost over, and it's a sad thing, but maybe in the grand scheme of things, it's necessary, right? Well, let's get back um, to the point here. Absolute. Let's see, what did Noel say? Washington wanted no political parties at all. Yeah. See, I yeah, fuck them all. They're all crooks. I agree with you, Davin, 100%. Part two was uploaded yesterday, Blue Unicorn. Fantastic. I'll have to check that out, man. Um, yeah, Congress was not supposed to be paid. No, I disagree with them not being paid, but I think they should be paid minimum wage, right? I think I think I think then you would probably see the minimum wage in this country kind of bump up, right? The Republicans were so pissed off. Well, not the people, right? Not the people. I'm just talking about the party. The Republicans were so upset when, and I mean politicians, when the Bernie Sanders proposed a $15 minimum wage federal, which, by the way, the federal minimum wage stands at $7.25. $7.25. Who do you know can make a living on that no matter where in the country you live? I asked that. Anybody know? Can you make a living on $7.25 anywhere in the country? And by that I mean afford a car and a house and all the bills that go with it. Let's see. Pinche Becky. You use the language you are comfortable using, unhoused in harm reduction because of the stigma that homeless. No, I understand, Pinche Becky, but I think we need to start saying homeless because that gets straight to the matter. There's no stigma attached. It's just a person without, unhoused. I guess you can use too. Many families are on the streets, and not all are on drugs. Yes, I understand that. We have to separate the drug use from being homeless, right? That's a battle that I've been fighting for forever, Becky. I totally get it. I understand why the term changed, right? Why Squatch leaving for a few days. I'll join after that if you're still going. Okay, buddy. No problem. Thank you, Squatch. Appreciate you. Now's the season turn. That's right. 357. Uh of the state they represent. Yes. Yeah. I mean, let's do that, Tanya. Let's give them minimum wage. None of this hundreds of thousands of dollars. I just saw yesterday the Supreme Court justices make 270,000 a year, which plus all the legal bribes they can take, right? And that's the problem with politics. Money in politics, right? None of them should be making a penny more than what the minimum wage is here in the United States. Congress is what you call a bunch of baboons. That well, I mean, it makes sense. Makes sense, Strange. We're almost 16 in an hour. Yeah, okay. That's great. I don't know where you are, Tanya, but that's I mean, that's better. It should be 22 if we kept up with an inflation, right? $22 an hour. You can buy some eggs, Blue Unicorn. Yeah, maybe. How can you live on $7 an hour? You can't, is the answer. Strange. That's the whole point. Not without a roommate, King Charles says. Even with a roommate, try it. Not going to work. $7 an hour. Wyoming minimum wage is 750. Yeah, and that's just north of Colorado here. It's crazy. KT PETA, welcome. Nice to have you here. Um, we should remake the documentary, MLH. Strange, get with me, bro. I'm down. I'm totally down. I would revamp it, though. I'd make it a lot different. I was under the thumb of someone else doing that doc series, Strange, but I want to do it my way. And I would definitely welcome your help, Strange, on that. Maybe we should start paying our politicians. Maybe we should start paying. We do with our tax dollars, but it just they make so much fucking money, and then they get legalized bribes left and right. That's another huge issue. Group of baboons is called a troop. Ah, okay. Well, there you go. Didn't finish my sentence. Pay the politicians like they paid the apple pickers. The more you work, and pick, the more you get. Oh, okay. I like that idea. Non-pick. I really do. My husband is the only income because I got hurt on the job. 3 years later, still fighting them to do the surgery. We are a month from being homeless. It sucks. I'm in Southwest Washington. I'm sorry to hear that, Tanya. I mean, that's terrible, and you should be getting disability. That's I don't understand people that have a problem with people getting disability. I filed for disability because I was in the same boat, Tanya. I have multiple back issues, like I've been in accidents. Didn't help that I got pushed down by a cop recently on the ground. That fucked me up for a while. I mean, it just things that add to it, right? Come to find out, I have arthritis in my back because of all the bullshit that I went through. Multiple car accidents, work accidents. I mean, I hear you, and I didn't get any money for any of it either, except for one car accident. Taco Bell ruined us. Bring back 59-cent tacos. Those days will never come. 357, unfortunately. What else we got here? Nowadays, a roommate needs to be on lease and Not all have the credit to be approved. That's another way they get you. I use whatever language a participant uses. Our neighborhood council doesn't get paid. Here, McDonald's and employees get 20 bucks. Yeah, that's California, Becky, and that's good. Should be 22 at least, but fuck, 20 is good. I mean, you can at least live with 20 bucks an hour, right? Insider trading, 100%, Tanya. You are on it today, Tanya. 100%. You you you've got a mind for this type of thing, and I'm with you 100%. This is where trying to survive hurt the homeless and people in general trying to survive or save money. Yeah, 100%, Peter. I remember 10 and 25-cent tacos. Nameless, exactly. By the way, Nameless, you made a comment, and I was going to get to it on the comment show, but since you're here, um, the video is fine. I think it was your internet. My video was fine yesterday. I watched. I think there was one time where there was a little bit of buffering, but the majority of the video, the homeless part one, Aurora v the Unhoused Part One, it was fine. But I do remember the 25-cent tacos, not the 10-cent ones. I remember, I think, like 29-cent hamburgers at the hamburger stand that I used to get all the time. I've tried to file, but to no avail, so I quit trying, and I have autism. Strange, you got to keep going. And I know a lawyer that can help you with that. I should probably go for it, but I got too much shit going on. Susan Everett, good morning, and thank you for being a member. All the members in chat, thank you so much. I live in the politics realm. Yeah, I hear you, Tanya. Bluto, good morning. Nice to have you here. Carrie Ann, how are you? I'm doing all right. We're just having a discussion here. If anybody wants to join the panel, feel free to click the link and I'll get you up here. Let's see. It's all good. It's all good, Nameless. No worries. I just wanted to let you know because I know you made that comment and I was concerned. I did check. And the video's fine. And there was like maybe one little hiccup there, but no worries. Uh, you all matter. We all matter. That's right. We have Del Taco in it. We have Del Taco here, Nameless, and they have they do have pretty good deals on Tuesday for Taco Tuesday, which is today Tuesday. Holy shit! I'm gonna go get tacos. It's not 10 cents, but it's like three for like $2 or some shit. L'ambiance. Welcome. Nice to have you here. Your hair's a mess. Good thing you're not on cam. To get the camera off, Becky, and come up here. Your voice would be awesome up here. Today we're discussing the Aurora thing. Matthew says, does the Aurora Mayor Mike Kaufman, a failed politician all the way around, think that ticketing and or arresting the homeless could possibly help the situation in any way, shape, or form? How could a ticket or arrest help homelessness? See, you're missing the point, Matthew. The point is the cruelty. I know Mike Kaufman. Mike Kaufman was a state representative here in Colorado, and he was awful. He was awful. He was awful at his job. That's why he got out. I mean, he's just a terrible human being. I mean, this is a guy who hates KDOT. He hates black people in general. You can tell. There's a certain rhythm and cadence to the way people speak and what they say. And Mike Kaufman is an asshole. Thank you, Peta. I appreciate that very much, KT Peta. You're a great human being. I like them both 357. I don't look, I like the cheese from Del Taco much better than Taco Bell. But the flavoring to me tastes slightly better at Taco Bell with the meat. I don't know. It's a weird discussion to have because they're both hell, but whatever. No worries, Becky. Um let's see. All right. I think we're caught up on chat. Can't go wrong with yeah, see, King Bluto, I'm with you. Any any fast food, man. I mean, it's just convenience, and the way that life is here in the United States. I mean, it's almost impossible not to eat, especially if you're poor. Um, Good cheap tacos for the win, for sure. Nameless, 100%. So let's get into this discussion. Sorry, tripping over my words. Maybe if I part, I'm a little parched. Hang on. Let me close this window because I don't like the dogs barking. Okay, there we go. All right, so Taco Bell sounds bomb.com. Sure does, strange. I mean anything right now. I mean it's too early for Taco Bell. I'll go for some breakfast. Anybody want to have breakfast that's in Denver? Let's go. Let's go. Okay, so yesterday, so Mike Kaufman and the city council of Aurora are basically waging war on the homeless people in Aurora, Colorado. All right, that there's no other way to you know no other way to think about it, right? So uh So what they're doing, this is what they're doing, all right? This is the guise of what they're doing. They're using RTD, the Regional Transit District, which is the public busing system that we and it's the RTD is terrible. The buses are terrible. The drivers aren't great. I mean, it's just it's horrible, right? But it is a way for certain people to get around town that doesn't involve a car. Keith, welcome. Nice to have you in chat. Um, I love going to La Hacienda. That's okay. We have La Hacienda here, Nampic. No worries. It's all good in the hood. Carl's Jr. is good. Yeah, I don't mind it. I can't eat burgers though. Upset any type of burger. The only place I can eat burgers is like Five Guys, and oddly enough, In and Out. And I don't. My stomach doesn't get super upset. But all right. So back to this discussion. So we got wind that they were going to start this 90-day process starting yesterday over on Havana and Colfax, which you guys saw yesterday, right? Now that place is a place where a lot of homeless people hang out and gather and sit on the benches and all that. Now all these benches are public benches. They want to say that RTD owns these benches and blah blah blah. You're going to be trespassed. You guys saw the sign last night that I showed you where it said no trespassing, no loitering. All right. It's the stupidest thing because there's no municipal code attached to it. There's nothing. Nothing. I love going to Mexico, L'Ambiance. Yeah, I don't. The cartels have taken over that country, man. I mean, you can't even go to the touristy destinations in Mexico anymore without having to worry. Las Maracas here or Good Friends Street Taco Restaurant. Yeah, why not? Let's do it. Let's do it today. Let's get some tacos. Um, it's public property. That's exactly right, Tanya. And you guys saw that yesterday. I proved it beyond a shadow of a doubt, Tanya. Yesterday, the first stream, part one of two, I was at that intersection and I saw the cops. And yeah, you can't loiter at a bus stop. Exactly, nameless. It's the most ridiculous thing. What constitutes loitering at a fucking bus stop? That's all you do is wait for a bus. You loiter for a bus, right? I mean, it's the dumbest thing. There's no municipality attached to that, by the way. So I already know it's bullshit, right? So here's what happened yesterday. So there were at least five cop cars there, four or five cop cars. I don't want to put a number on it. You guys can see it in the video. Um, but you get the idea. There was at least, I don't know, seven, eight cops there, just milling around. One person was in handcuffs. And when I got there, they took her out of handcuffs. So a win for me, right? Anytime you take somebody out of handcuffs. And then so I I was noticing this other officer in the distance on the other side of the street, on the other side of Colfax. And I quickly went over there. I was gonna watch the sergeant because he was looking like he was gonna do something stupid. So I crossed the street, and all of a sudden I saw this cop, right? And I started talking to him, and come to find out, he was off duty. He's an off duty cop, right? And he said that there was a subcontract with the RTD, which is a red flag for me, right? It's a big red flag for me. So I'm like, okay, that's interesting information. We'll get to the bottom of this. Um, yes, Tanya. Transit is publicly funded, hence bus stops are public property. Talk about a violation of civil rights. Yes, Tanya, we'll get to that. Let's finish this part of the story. So, uh, so he got nervous with me because he knew I was what I was doing. I was there to hold everybody accountable, right? Make sure nothing happened. So he calls his backup, the sergeant, over, right? And the sergeant tried to intimidate me. He was arguing with me. He was basically saying, um, uh, that you know that RTD owned the bus stop and they had a right to trust. I mean, it was just spouting nonsense. And by the way, I want to point something out. I know for a fact he knew who I was. He said, "I don't even know who you are." But yet previously he said, you're telling your viewers the wrong thing." How would he know that? How would he know that? These people are just the dumbest people. They give you so much. All you got to do is let them talk, right? It's they all you got to do is let them talk. That's it. And you'll get so much information, you'll be amazed. Never been to Mexico. It's not true. The cartels or some protect Americans because it's a way they can launder money or even make money from. No, strange. I've got inside information. The cartels are everywhere in Mexico, even in the touristy place. And they've even been known to kidnap tourists. So, oh, look who we have here. KT, are you there? Looks like you're muted. I see you there, but I think you're muted. There
Yeah,
you
good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you doing today?
It's another day, another 50 cents, like I like to say all the time,
Is
KT.
that with or without tax?
That's before taxes.
Well,
How
this
are you?
okay. So I what I was doing is I didn't realize I had your stream going and then the studio, so I was muted for a reason. But then I was like, oh wait a minute, I can mute the other one and come back to this.
Yeah,
Anyway,
there you go. There you
okay.
go.
So when I was 19, I was homeless, and
Uh-huh.
when I say homeless, I didn't have a car. Um, I had a lot of abuse in my life, and I was homeless.
Uh-huh.
And I was shuffling to the point where I was living underneath a stairwell because where I'm from, they have a business, and then to the side is like a door to
Mhm.
go upstairs to the apartments. And I used to sleep at night under the stairwell and pray to God I didn't get raped or fucking beaten or whatnot. But, and then I would have to sneak, and this is back in the day, I would have to sneak in the hotels and then go upstairs through the stairwell and see each level what rooms were open, meaning that the housekeeping hadn't gotten to yet but needed to be cleaned. And what I would do is get the do not disturb sign, slap it on the door, and shower and wash my clothes in the sink and then dry them on the heaters so that at least I didn't stink.
Right.
I
Right.
think, with that being said, I think I was one of the lucky homeless people. And this wasn't for a day or whatever, this was for quite some time.
Yeah.
I feel no matter what state, but particularly where you're at, homeless people are so ignored because of snottiness,
Mm.
people being entitled, money being shuffled all around, and people getting denied. And that's why in the comments, in the chat, I said it's all about nowadays, especially having credit.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you're right. You can't get an apartment without decent credit, decent to good credit.
You can't get a job. I
You
mean,
can't. Yeah.
you can,
th- They're starting to ask for credit at jobs, and which is ridiculous. Why should your credit, preclude you from working? It makes no sense. It's an awful system we have here, KT. But let me finish this quick story about what happened yesterday and why it's so disturbing, right? So we're at that bus stop, and I talked to the sergeant, the big sergeant. He's like twice my size, right? And he's telling me that RTD owns the bus stop and they have a right to do it. Just bullshit. I'm not listening because I don't want to hear what he has to say. He's wrong. And I told him as such, right? And then when he admitted that he was watching my stream, it was a funny moment. I didn't say it on the stream, but you can definitely tell that they were watching, and they know who I am. K Dot and I are the only people that they really have had morning meetings about in Aurora. So of course they know who I am, right? And they know who K Dot is. So knowing this, um, I go, so, and then they turned, the one cop went to these two gentlemen that were sitting there, minding their own business, and said, you guys didn't catch the last bus, but so if you don't catch the next bus, we're gonna arrest you. And I'm like, you're gonna arrest somebody for not catching a bus? Okay, that's interesting. All right. Um, that's not how it works. That's illegal. That's not a legal, lawful order, right? You are not required to catch a bus at a bus stop, right? I can sit at a bus stop all day long as I'm not bothering anyone else, and I'm not doing anything illegal. Like the one cop said that we're trying to catch drugs. I'm like, oh, so you're thinking everybody here is doing drugs? Okay, so you're gonna arrest for thought crimes now, right? Okay, interesting. All right, so okay, so I was like, that's not gonna happen. And I tell you what, if I don't catch the bus, are you going to arrest me? Are you going to arrest me because I'm here and I'm telling you I am not going to catch the bus, and this is a public sidewalk, and I showed the public sidewalk, right? And I'm going to walk up and down this sidewalk and I am not going to catch the bus. What are you going to do? Are you going to arrest me? Yeah, and he didn't have an answer for that, right? He didn't want to answer it because he knows the answer. He knows he can't lawfully arrest me for sitting on a bench or walking on the sidewalk. I was like, I'd like to see you try that. And then I made him give me his card. And then I don't know if you guys saw that when I asked for his card, he got right up in my face. Like he was trying to intimidate me. And this guy was like twice my size, you know. And I wanted to tell him, hold on a second, we got someone else here. Namfik, you're up on stage left. What's up, man? How are you?
Well, right now I am in my car. That's why I'm not using the video because I'm going to go get some gas. I have to run my neighbor to the hospital, or not the hospital, but the doctor's. I just wanted to say I was a transit driver for
Mhm.
20 years. Well, actually 18 and a half. You can hear me, right?
I can definitely hear you. Yes.
Okay. If I have too much background, let me know. And here you might want to check in your area, but in Snohomish County in the state of Washington,
Yeah.
community transit uh, did have, in cooperation with the county and all the cities surrounding, that they were to build a uh, concrete pad, they call it.
Hmm.
That concrete pad itself was to be maintained by community transit,
Yeah.
and it was their responsibility to keep it clean, which they do. They hire a company to come in
Yeah.
that cleans it off, but the sidewalk itself is still public. So if the shelter itself was basically owned by the transit company, and it was their
Yeah.
responsibility to keep all the
Keep. Yes.
uh,
Yes. Upkeep.
the
Right. Yeah.
yes, and to keep all of the uh, putting of flyers and stuff. There were sometimes, if you were to call the bus company and say, "Hey, listen, we're having a big thing in the city, a parade or whatever. Is it okay if we put a poster up?" And as long as you asked them first and they said okay, you could do it. But they didn't want a bunch of people, like a lot of people do with the telephone poles, and put stuff up
Right.
and just have it all tagged up.
No.
But
Understandable. Understandable. 100%. Yeah.
yeah, but we, I should say, the Snohomish County did hire the sheriff's department, and they did work for them, and the bus company did pay them.
Yes.
And as far as rules and stuff, the bus company would set guidelines as far as imposing regular law. That was up to the sheriff's department or the police department.
Right.
Um, the rule of thumb was, if you miss your bus, okay. If you miss your second bus, pay more attention. If you're there for three buses, the sheriff's department had the right to come up and ask you if there was a problem, uh, and help you out if needed. Okay.
Right. Right.
The one thing they did not want to have people doing is sitting at the bus stop when the elderly or the handicapped came and
Right.
didn't have a spot to sit.
I made that point
So
yesterday,
yeah,
Nampick. I did. I said,
yep,
look, if you're sitting, I mean, one guy was in a wheelchair. Now I don't,
right,
I mean, that alone is enough to say leave the dude alone, right? But
right,
but I agree with you. If you're a bunch of young people and you're sitting there, I don't have a problem with it, right? But
uh-huh,
if an elderly person or a disabled person comes, you get up and you give them your seat. And as long as you're not harassing that person or causing them issues, I don't see a problem sitting there all day long. You see what I'm saying, Namfik? It's not an issue for me. It's not something that
well,
we should be concerned with. You know what I mean? Like,
I understand what you're saying. I completely, people should not be afraid of someone else, but you'll have to agree, times have changed.
yeah,
Now when young people get together, are they doing it to discuss being in the 4-H? Do they discuss, what they're going to do, football practice or whatever? Some kids do.
yeah,
But
yeah,
then there are the other ones who need a spot to meet up so they can sit and talk about the bad things that some of the bad kids do.
yeah.
I mean, you know, but
Here's my feeling
go
on it.
ahead.
Look, I'm
Okay.
I'm not big on thought crimes, right? You cannot assume just because somebody's sitting there, they're acting or doing something nefarious. You see what I'm saying? Hey,
That's true.
Sir Crepitus,
Go
nice
ahead.
to have you in chat. Sir Crepitus, I want to talk to you. about doing an interview with you, sir. Can you please email me at mexicanlonghair@gmail.com, because I want to pick your brain on some things. I appreciate your insight as a former law enforcement officer. Pinche Becky is in the house. How are you,
I'm
Becky?
doing well. How are you? Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can, of course. I love the serape that you got on there. Very, very nice.
My This is a rebozo.
Oh,
Zarapes. This is a rebozo. Rebozo is a
rebozo.
wraparound. Zarape, you go over your head.
I got you. I got you. Well, I mean, it's still. I call everything a serape.
It's okay.
Mickey, you know what I'm saying. I mean, a jacket could be a serape if it's the right color. But uh, uh, I'm glad you're up here too, Becky. Did you see my live yesterday?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, and okay, the audacity of the police force to think that they could push around the unhoused, the homeless. What is your perspective on it, Becky? Because I know you deal with a lot of unhoused in LA. And by the way, thank you for doing that. I know some people will not thank you for doing that, but I'm here to say that I think it's fabulous work. It's not a lot of people will recognize that work, but I'm here on this channel to tell you you're doing a fabulous job, and
Thank you.
it's much much needed. So what is your thoughts on it, Becky? I know you saw some of what happened yesterday.
Um, First of all, it makes me extremely sad. Um, Let me tell you where very quickly how this whole homeless is. Again, I can use the word homeless, unhoused, whatever people
Right,
use, I'm fine
right,
with.
right.
Um, it started way back when my mom would give a homeless guy. He obviously had mental issues,
Hmm.
mental health issues, and he would come around and in Spanish say, "No madre, no padre, no nada, dame una cora." I don't have a mom. I don't have a dad. I don't have anything. Can you give me a quarter?
Yeah,
And um, my mom would give him a dollar. Back then, remember, this was the 80s. So a dollar went a little further than it does today.
yeah, yeah.
And it was just her compassion towards him. Um, and so, now moving forward, 2024, and the stuff that they do to humans, the stuff that they do to our people, because these are all our people. This could be any of us out
Right.
there, any of us.
That's a great point, Becky. I make that point all the time. And Peter, I'm gonna get you to you in just a second. I'm sorry. I'm not ignoring you. I just have a lot on my mind. So I agree with you, Becky. These are that this is why I say that we have failed as a nation. If we cannot take care of the people that need help the most, then who are we?
Well,
Who are we?
this was the theory behind the homelessness. And homelessness was just the alcoholic from the bar that had too much to drink,
Mhm.
the drug users that, oh my God, they don't know any better. That's why they're out in the streets. The riffraff, the one nobody wanted, the one that everybody tossed aside.
Right.
And so they thought, they're going to eventually die off. They're going to eventually, and then we're going to be okay again, because you see, those people over there are going to die off.
Yeah.
And then we're going to be fine, because you see, once they die off, we won't have any more homeless. Well, guess what?
Why
2024.
why are we hoping for the demise of other people? You know what
This
I'm
was
saying,
just our
Becky?
society.
Yeah.
This is not it is not a Republican, Democrat, black, white, yellow, purple, orange. It's not a color. This is classism.
Right. Classism.
This is classism at its finest. Where is our middle class? Where is our middle class anymore? We don't
Right.
have a middle class.
Right. Uh
Very, very when I was in high school, we could give the homeless, yeah.
sorry. Yeah.
And thank you, Ferry. Yeah, it's it's about class. Our
Yeah, Blue Unicorn says it right because the rich view the poor as useless eaters, when in
yeah.
fact they are the most wasteful fucking people on the planet. I think, I mean, the excess. I mean, you look at somebody like Donald Trump, whether you like him or not, a gold fucking toilet. Why do you need a gold toilet? Porcelain works
Oh,
just fine. You know,
I
the
worked in Beverly Hills for over 25 years
yeah,
in healthcare, and um, I'm going to tell you. And I also been to a lot of those Beverly Hill, actually Bel Air parties,
yeah,
mansions, you name it. I
yeah,
don't give a fuck how much money you have. Your money doesn't pay my bills.
right, right,
So because your money doesn't pay my bills in that sense, when I'm taking care of a patient, I don't care if you have $1 billion or if you're someone out in the streets. Every person deserves to be treated with dignity. Does I don't give a fuck how much money you have. Every person deserves to be treated with dignity. That's the bottom line.
right. Oh, somebody dropped. Who dropped? Nomfik dropped. Okay, it's all.
Yeah.
I think he was driving. Um, all right, Peta, you wanted to say. Sorry, I totally wasn't ignoring you. What did you want to say, Peta?
You lying sack of shit. No, I'm just kidding.
Tell them how you really feel, Peter.
I've been
Hey,
called worse, Becky. I've been called worse. I've been called, I've been called a bad actor, Becky.
I was gonna say that. Have you been called a bad actor? Shh, we're not touching that subject. I don't want to go on a tangent.
No, no, no. We won't go on the tangent. This is different. But KT Peta, what did you want to say?
okay, so unfortunately, like Becky was saying, when it comes to either side, Republican or Democrat, in regards to Americans, period,
Yeah,
us, that's what USA stands for, us, we the people. Until the government gets off their ass and stops dicking around paying everybody else's bills, obviously, we the people have to do something. Okay?
yeah.
What was JFK said? It's not what you could do for your country, it's what we could do for you.
No, what it's not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. That's
Thank you.
that's what he said. Yeah.
Thank you. I'm retarded, so forgive me. Anyway.
No, don't. You're not.
No, I did. No, I did. Until you know me, I see.
Totally.
I
She
can.
totally is, Becky. She's totally mentally challenged.
Yeah, I
I'm
lick the.
kidding.
I,
I'm
I
kidding.
lick the windows everywhere. I'm not prejudiced. Anyway, what I'm thinking is this, and this is inspiring me to do something, not just talk shit. Until the government does something and gives a damn about us, I think no matter what state or city or town or county you live in, I would like to implement the buy a pass, give a pass, which means let your community know, let the bus companies know, the transit, whether it's bus, subway, or train. Hey, when you buy a pass, would you like to give a pass? So for $1 more, you could get a pass to give for a homeless person in need. For example, one day I bought a bus pass, an all day pass, because I didn't know what my schedule was going to be like.
Yeah.
I did my shit, and it was only like say 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I got everything taken care of. So what I did was I still had plenty of time left on that bus pass. I handed it to the bus driver, and I said, "Listen, if you know somebody that's in need, that's homeless or struggling, you give this pass to them."
Yeah. Well, I've got a different idea, Peta, and hear me out on this. I I think we pay a lot in taxes. I don't care where you are in this country. We pay a shit ton. And I don't want to hear this argument that immigrants don't pay taxes, because they do. When they walk in to a store, they pay state taxes on anything that they buy. If they buy a TV, if they buy a couch, if they buy a candy bar, they pay taxes too. So as long as we're all now, they don't pay federal taxes, but that's a whole different story, and we could go down that route. But here's the thing: we all pay taxes here because we're all humans and we're all living here, right? So why not with some of this money? I was just talking about how much politicians make in salary alone, not even their legal bribes that they take, et cetera, et cetera. How about we get free transportation? Any bus that you take within the city should be free. And when I mean free, that's what our tax dollars should be going to, not the bullshit. I need a raise in Congress, which every single time that it comes up for a vote for raises in Congress, they all of them in unison vote for their raises, right?
Of
They
course.
always get raises, right?
Of
So
course.
instead of that, how about we cap out their money? And I think my idea is right. I think we should always tie their pay to the federal minimum wage, right? Whatever the federal minimum wage
I
is,
agree.
that's what they should get, right?
I agree 1,000%. And if I didn't say it clearly, that's on me. But what but what I if
Yeah, I'm sorry. Nampick, I'm gonna mute you
Yeah,
just for a second. Go ahead.
if I didn't explain it clearly, that's on me.
No, no,
I I agree with you 1,000%. But what I'm saying is,
yeah,
until the government does people, the people, we the people, until they do us right, why not implement it for now? For either, like, because not too many people are going to say to the bus driver, here's my leftover pass for the day.
yeah,
What
yeah.
I'm saying is when people go to buy a pass, give them an option to say, for $1 more, we can give this extra pass
Right,
to a homeless
right,
person or
right.
someone in need. Like,
I
I
Yeah.
saw a mother with her kids, and she was totally screwed, and she needed to get her kids wherever the hell she was going. I said, "Listen, I don't have the money, but I have a big mouth." And I just yelled out, "Yo, which one of you rich bastards can buy this lady a pass?" And somebody did. I swear
Yeah,
to God, somebody
yeah.
did. I'm like, break out your wallet and stop being a cheap motherfucker and buy this. You see, this woman's crying, she's struggling. I don't care if she's lying or not. It's the kids. Get them on the, and somebody bought her a pass. That's what I'm saying. Until the government takes their money out of their wallet and does for everyone and implements
They
this.
did it during COVID. Why can't they do it now and
Well, that
give free bus rides?
that well,
You,
that's what I'm saying. Exactly.
no,
Until
I
they,
hear what you're saying. I hear
Yeah.
what you're saying,
Yep.
and it's
It makes sense for sure. I'm sorry, Becky. I didn't mean to cut you off.
no. Go ahead.
I
No,
I
it does
I
make a lot of sense. You know,
that's
right?
yeah, that's an
The way they're being
interim.
treated. But right now, this is let me blow your guys' mind away. I had a meeting with the Department of Mental Health here.
Yeah.
And I asked about harm reduction, bringing in what are you guys, what programs are there out there? And again, harm reduction is like saying you're in healthcare. It does, there's a lot of, to it. And my question was, have you guys thought about what programs out there for the working class harm reduction?
Yeah.
Blank stares. The working class, the people like me that I still work, even though I'm partially disabled. I still work twice
Mhm.
a week, but I still work. They're one paycheck away from being out in the streets. What are you? They said they never thought about it. They have never thought about it. Here's a new concept. How about instead, right now, our homeless, at least here in LA, they get a lot of money. It's the number one business here in LA is the homeless. Now, how about preventing people? Because the part of the reason why they can't get people into houses is because one, There's not enough houses to go around. They can do the little houses, the tiny houses, but that comes with a lot of strings attached, and a lot of people are not ready to be binded by those strings.
Yeah.
Here's a new concept. How about put some of that money allocated to the people that are just about to be homeless, the ones that still have a house that they can stay in. Maybe they're behind on their rent.
Yeah. Yeah.
How about helping the people that are struggling, working, that are maintaining this country? Because let's be real, we pay a lot of taxes, especially here in California. You name it, we pay taxes all over the place. How about helping the ones before they hit the streets? The ones like I think it was Barry who said that, she's waiting for a surgery
Hmm.
and her husband is only one income. Here's a new concept. How about preventing people from being homeless in the first place?
Yeah.
You see, those type of programs don't really exist. And if they exist, they will ask you for everything, probably including bra size and underwear.
Yeah. Yeah.
And how about making the process cut some of this bullshit red tape that they have out there?
I made a point yesterday, Becky, right? There's a term that it's a derogatory term that's out there that drives me fucking nuts. Welfare queen, right?
Oh yeah.
When we think of the term wealth, I'm not going to say that there isn't some fraud in the welfare industry, right? But it's not nearly what people think, right? So they find these examples of people that have taken advantage of the system, and they tout
The
that,
extreme cases.
right? But meanwhile, the biggest welfare queens, all right, and I'm going to use that term because it needs to be used here and people need to hear it. The biggest welfare queens in the United States are the police, right? And if you don't believe me, look at
Mhm.
your city budgets and tell me where the money is going. I guarantee you,
40%
I
of
gu-
our
yeah,
budget goes to LAPD, and I think it was 30% goes to fire, if I remember correctly. That's
yes, yes,
70% of our budget.
And this
yes,
and this is where the police, I feel bad all over. The small portion of the good officers, whether they're retired or on duty, do not get acknowledged. They get ridiculed. Oh, you see Joe Blow, he's such a pussy. He's supposed to be a cop and he was being nice to this person and doing that and buying them lunch. What's so wrong with that? Just
I don't
because they
see
wear a
anything
badge
wrong.
just
yeah,
because
You know,
they wear a badge and a uniform does not mean they're all evil,
I
corrupt.
agree.
Let's say which is just uh, talking out of my ass. 15% out of all cops are good human beings in and out of uniform.
uh huh, uh huh.
They constantly, from all angles, are getting burned by all the ones that are corrupt and
Yeah,
assholes and
the
shit.
the the system we have now, Peter. I know how cops run in this country, right? I've seen it from the inside out. I have sources in police forces all over the Denver metro area, right? And I know what happens. I know the corruption that goes on there. I've exposed a lot of corruption. I did a video once where this officer was kind of rude to me because I was asking for I was going to do a complaint, I think, on another officer. And I mean, even to do that is an intimidating process for the average citizen, right? But I'm not an average citizen. So I know how this process works, and there's no intimidation with me. Hell, yesterday you saw that guy was like twice my size, and he got right up in my face like he was gonna, I don't know, intimidate me and make me feel like I whatever when he was handing me his business card. He didn't need to do that, right? And can you imagine an average citizen if a dude twice your size comes up to you and is like towering over you? I mean, you're going to be intimidated by that, right?
Well, that's what's
You
called
see?
that's what's called dick swinging.
Right.
Quien es más macho?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So here's my thing on the corruption, right? You're right. The vast majority of them are corrupt, right? And this is why I want to get Crepitus on here because he's another cop that retired cop that could shed some light on this, right? And he was agreeing with a lot of what I was saying yesterday. We may have little disagreements here and there, but he knows what I'm saying, right? I so this guy that was rude to me at the counter, that's what prompted me to get his information. So I did. And guess what I found? I found out that this guy was a sergeant that was covering up for a guy that was sleeping on the job in his cruiser, right? And not only that, he got reprimanded by the department because he created a quote toxic work environment for the whistleblower. The guy that told his sergeant, he created a bad working environment for him. So
Well,
that's
the bad get promoted. That's the problem.
okay.
The,
Fast forward, Becky. They put this guy in the desk because he was no longer serviceable out in the field. So they put him behind a desk, which is where I found him. And come to find out, allegedly, I'm not 100% sure yet, but they promoted this guy to lieutenant. He is now a lieutenant with the Aurora Police Department. This guy that covered for this guy that was sleeping at the wheel, literally. I mean, not driving, but
I
sleeping,
know what you mean.
you know. So that's the type of guy that they promote in the Aurora Police Department. And you know what's the sad thing about it is? They can't get rid of this guy because of what? The fucking
The
union.
union.
The union. And that's another huge problem. I don't think any government agencies, I'm big on unions, right? I think they protect the working class for the most part. There is a little corruption there and all that we could get into.
A little.
But for the most part, they do fight for better wages, better insurance, all that stuff, right? But I don't believe any government entity, especially the police, should have a union. Absolutely not. If you do wrong in a police force and you're convicted of any crime, you should immediately be jettisoned out of law enforcement, never to find a law enforcement job again, because you can't be trusted in a position of power. You can't. You simply can't. This guy, this Michael Douglas guy that I exposed at the Aurora department, I wouldn't trust him to babysit anybody. I wouldn't trust him to be a cop. I couldn't trust him to be, if I owned a business, I wouldn't trust him to be my employee because he would cover for somebody sleeping on the job. You see how that works?
Yeah.
Or they would put money in their pockets and leave you shortchanged. I'm not anti-police. Let me just make that very clear. I'm not anti-police. I am towards holding those officers that are policemen, cops, whatever the hell you want to call them, that do not do right by their citizens. And a lot of them don't do right by their
Right.
citizens. Who's that?
Hey, we got Sasquatch up here, one of the most
Oh,
interesting
Sasquatch.
men
Good
on
morning.
the internet. As KT PETA puts it, the panty dropper. Panty dropper, how are you?
Did not expect that.
I'm not even touching that one.
Just
Stick.
listen to his voice, Becky.
How are we doing today?
Good morning.
I'm doing okay, but I'm a little miffed at some things, Sasquatch, which, you know, it's not hard for me to get. Yeah, don't worry about right now, Crepitus. I want to have a one-on-one with you, actual interview. You know what I'm saying?
Panty dropper in the house.
Yes, the panty droppers in the house. So what's up, Sasquatch?
I didn't know I carried enough panties around to be dropped. I haven't noticed any missing.
Yeah.
That confuses me, but thank you, I think.
It's that voice. It's that voice, Sasquatch. You got that voice.
I'm watching. Sorry, I'm looking at Blue Unicorn's comment. You don't have to be a cop to save a life. You don't have to be a cop to stop a crime. You're very right about that.
Right.
Yeah, if you go busting around stopping crimes on your own, you're liable to catch a charge yourself.
Yeah.
Well, I almost got. Yeah, I. That's why I was so angry at the LAPD. The guy was beating the crap out of the girl here. She was bleeding. He was pounding her on the concrete on my driveway. 2.5 hours later, I get a phone call. And in between, I called 911. The guy came after me. Then he went try to go after my husband. He said he was gonna go get a gun in the car. 2.5 hours later, I get, or no, I'm lying. An hour and a half hours later, I get a call from 911. They heard the whole thing,
Let me
asking me if I still
let me ask
needed
you
help.
let me ask you this question, Becky. If you lived in Beverly Hills, do you think the response would have been 2.5 hours?
Hell no. You are you I worked in Beverly Hills. I
Right.
can tell you that we called them and they were, but then again, I worked with one of the hospitals out there. That wasn't the issue. Beverly, look, let me tell you guys something, the difference between Beverly Hills and South Central.
Yeah.
Beverly Hills residents get involved with their community, with their city council, with their neighborhood council. They get involved. That's the difference. Around here, I go to the neighborhood council meetings, not the city
Mhm.
council, the neighborhood council. I go out there and we start making changes. That's the difference. It's the involvement in your government. If you want change, you have to go to your neighborhood council meetings. How
Yeah.
else are you going to implement changes if that's where everything starts?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I agree with that
Uh,
actually, but city council meetings.
Not city,
If
neighborhood.
yeah, neighborhood council. Okay, that's
Those
yeah,
people are at least here in LA, neighborhood council meetings. The neighborhood council are volunteer positions. They don't get paid. So they're doing it for the love of their neighborhood.
yeah. Farrell Cheryl's in chat. What's up, Farrell Cheryl?
What?
Nice to have you.
Hermana. I
Yeah.
love Feral Cheryl. I love listening to her.
Sasquatch, did you get a chance to catch my either of my videos yesterday by chance?
No, yesterday was pretty busy with me. I
Okay.
had a bunch of,
I'll explain in a nutshell. I shut down the Aurora PD for trying to arrest people for not catching the bus of all things.
Hmm.
Sasquatch. So that's that
yeah, no, I heard something about that actually. Somebody mentioned it. I can't remember who it was, but I was like, they missed the bus. Is that something they would ever do again?
yep,
And
yep,
they got mad at me.
yeah. Well, they can get mad all they want. Nompic just dropped again. I think he's having problems with his phone. Nompic, come back, buddy. Um, later, Sir Crepitus, thank you for sending me an email. I'll respond to
Sir
you.
Crepitus, have a good one. Say hi
Sir,
to the missus.
Sir Corruptus. See you later, Sir Corruptus. I mean, Crepitus.
Damn,
It's
damn.
No, that's what they named him, Sir
no, I
Corruptus.
know it's hard to pronounce your thing there.
No, it's Sir Crepitus. I
It's not
had to learn it the hard way. Sir
it's not
Crepitus.
Corruptus. It's not Corruptus, Becky.
It's crepitus,
Oh,
which
okay.
the definitions aren't that far off of each other.
Right, right.
Crepitus is old, dusty, and worn out. Uh,
I thought it had something to do with
Bones.
flatulence. That's what I
it's like
thought.
being
No,
decrepit.
Yeah,
it's like that
No,
old
it's
saying.
the
It's like that
verb.
old. Yeah, it's like that old saying, old and decrepit.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah,
you know.
That's
But
yeah,
why that's why he's commented on why he chose that name.
yeah,
yeah.
And I'm gonna
It's
tell
got
you
to be a
something.
Darth thing, like a
He's one of the
Sith,
few people,
Sith thing.
not just a police officer. He's one of the few people that I hold in very high regards. Not just because of what he's helped me with, just as a person in itself. He's a good dude. So
yeah.
Yeah.
um
Yeah.
and Yeah,
Well,
and I hold
you
him
said
and his wife in high regards.
somebody said old and decrepit, and then Nampic came up on the panel. I'm not saying there's a connection there.
Yeah, yeah,
Hey,
that was me, MOH. I said that.
okay. I just wanted to make a comment here, and I hope I don't offend you, long here, but I have got to disagree when it comes to. Excuse me, I have somebody taking a jet over the top of me. Um, when it comes to unions, and here's my look on it: the
Yeah.
unions, when I was in the transit union,
Uh-huh.
it helped us to achieve higher wages.
Yeah.
And it also protected us from the company trying to dismiss us for doing something like, believe it or not, if you took a bus and went around the corner too tight and you rubbed your tire against the curb, not
Mm,
go over it, just rub
yeah.
it,
Yeah.
you had some things you had to answer to
Right. Right.
because you're a professional and you shouldn't have done it.
Right.
Well, sometimes when you get squished in by other vehicles, you have no choice but to try to get as close as you can.
Right.
So sometimes unions are good, but like, yeah, what you were saying to keep people safe from the police department, I can understand that their unions are trying to make it sound like there are no bad cops, and it's not the case.
Right.
There's good and bad in everything that we
I
do.
agree. I
You know,
agree.
everything.
The only problem that I have is with the unions for police, Nompic. I'm
Okay.
big on unions because they keep you on the straight and narrow, like you said.
Yeah.
If you make a mistake, they're going to question you and go
Oh
through
yeah.
the process and make it fair, right? That's the point,
Right.
is to make it
Right.
fair. The problem is protecting your workers against the company, right? Basically, is what a union does. They fight for
Right.
higher wages, they
Right.
benefits, all that stuff, plus hold you accountable, right? And that's the way it should work. The problem I have with the police union is, who are you protecting the police from? Not the company, because there is no company. What you're protecting them from is the people. The people
Right.
are
Accountability.
supposed to be in charge of the police departments and government, right? We the
Yeah.
people. So that's the problem I have. The people are upset with cops for good reason. It's not. This isn't manufactured nonsense that people are making up. I mean, we see it every day. I was in a trial. I covered the Kyle Vincent trial, um, where a jury found the cop not guilty of bashing this guy over the head with his pistol, which you can clearly see the guy was prone on the ground, bashing him over the head with a pistol, his gun, right? Not pistol, his whatever they use, the cops, right? So, and the irony of it all is, the woman that was standing there watching him do this got convicted of a crime, not intervening, and got 6 months probation. So you have somebody that was standing there, which definitely should have been punished, and it was a deserved punishment. It should have been, in my view, more than 6 months probation. It should have included jail time, in my opinion. If you're watching somebody getting bashed over their head and you don't intervene and say, "Hey, that's enough," then I have a problem with you, whether you're a cop or someone else. You know what I mean? A regular human being watching somebody getting bashed over the head with anything, would the right thing to do is intervene and say, "Hey, hold on, that's enough." You know, but in this case, it was just so weird. The lady that was standing there got 6 months probation, but the guy that actually did the crime in front of all of our eyes to a prone human being, the guy wasn't resisting, he wasn't reaching for a gun like they said. What they did is they did a sleight of hand. They showed a still of his arm near the gun. Oh, you see right there, he was reaching for the gun. He was reaching for the gun. You know, he wasn't. If you watch the video, he was protecting himself, which any human being would protect their head from being bashed in with a hammer, a gun, or whatever fucking else is going on, right? So that's what I'm saying. The unions are protecting these guys, and they're protecting them from the people of the United States. They're not protecting against a company. I am 100% for companies having unions, which they're a dying breed. Like I wish Walmart and FedEx and all these big time Amazon, I wish they would unionize. You know, I think that would be great. But
Well, maybe I'm sorry to interrupt. Maybe what they should do is, now this is just my thoughts. People can say he's old, he doesn't understand what he's talking about. But maybe they should take a panel of 5 people, 6, whatever, not appointed by the city, not appointed by the police department, but voted in by the people in the city to be an independent panel who goes over these cases,
mhm,
and for it, almost like having a small jury, like in a courtroom,
yep,
and let those people decide whether it should be prosecuted or whether it should be, uh, you know,
Like
let
a grand
go.
jury,
What that?
Um,
like a grand jury does for
Yeah,
similar.
basically let them decide, not the unions, not the police
Correct.
department, but let this independent uh, panel say, yeah, you know what? I don't approve of that. That's totally wrong. This has to be addressed. Let the 5 do it. You don't want an even amount of people, because the one thing you're
Listen.
going to run into is a deadlock.
I
3 are
want
going to
Yep.
say good. 3, I'm sorry.
about the results of this. What happens when you do this, and this very thing has been done in several cities around America. And what inevitably happens is you have the same group of swamp monsters that run for these positions. They get it because they're in touch with the feds or the state or
yeah, yeah.
whatever group is currently in power locally.
So
What actually happens is the
yeah,
local police know who you are.
yeah. Well, check this out, Sasquatch. KDOT and I are working on a citizen oversight board for the police in Aurora, Colorado, right? And
I agree.
it's going to include people like myself and KDOT and activists and maybe former police officers and stuff like that to do what Nampic just said is to
I'm
decide.
not saying it can't be done. I'm saying that in long term, when you stretch this out across not your term, but your successor's term, that individual is more likely to be swayed by pressure from local police just by showing up and talking to them, just by
Well,
being friendly and nice and letting
Yeah.
them get away with crap.
Yeah, you need to have people that are hardened and know what's going on, Sasquatch. They need to be vetted
True.
100%.
And the first generation does. The people who set these things up do it correctly and properly, and everything's legit. It's the ones that get voted in next or the next ones.
Yeah. Yeah. No, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. I I agree with both Nompic and Sasquatch on this. I look, when I say that I'm literally busy all the time, I'm literally busy all the time. I'm not, when I think it's more of a rarity to see me pick up my camera, even though I do videos quite often, than it is to for
Oh
everything
yeah.
else that I do.
Same here.
Becky, you wanted to say, Becky?
I said that's true. Same here. The camera only captures what 10% of our lives. I haven't even been on camera for quite some time, but that doesn't mean I stopped my activism.
Well,
I haven't been on camera, and you guys all know why. It brings too much distraction.
Well,
Um,
I know what you're doing. You're passing out needles and meth pipes to everybody, Becky.
Actually, I don't pass out needles, period. I might be passing out meth pipes, but it's not at the encampment. It's over there where they really need it. And
uh, you don't have to fib. I know the truth. You're passing them out to
right, yeah, I carry it in my tit, don't I? I carry those dirty needles in my tit here, right here.
Ah, chichona, you know.
Just just
Double
don't get.
D's, eh? Double D's. You might as well use them for something. Now watch that get clipped. Watch that get clipped
I
right
know,
here. Watch
but
that get clipped.
what were you gonna
Yeah.
say, Pick?
Oh, I was just going to say, make sure that you don't stick the needle in there.
Yeah, don't stick.
No, I use them as pin cushion.
Oh,
That's what they're for. I use them to carry all the dirty needles as pin cushions. That way nobody else gets harmed. I just stick them all over. That's
Yeah,
it.
Johnny Bravo's in chat. He says they killed a kid but couldn't do the time, but yet throw people in jail all the time over pointless stuff and take their souls, but can't do the same jail time they throw everyone else in. Well, I mean, look, I had a discussion. I don't know if you guys saw the video that I put up where KDOT confronted
Yes.
the union chief. Did you
Yes.
see that, Becky? It was pretty intense.
Yes.
yeah, yeah.
Right after that video, I shut the camera off for a
I
reason.
saw that.
I did. Did you see the chief with KDOT?
I don't know who it was. I did see him. What's it with the union leader that he was arguing with? I believe.
Yeah, the union leader, the police union leader, who's a big piece of shit in his own right. He got a DWI, and they fired him, and then they rehired him, which is
Oh well, of
totally fucking
course. Listen,
out of line.
once it, yeah,
And
I
now,
believe you.
yeah, he's the president of the Fraternal Order of Police in Aurora now. His name is Mark Sears. He's an awful human being. He sucks. But the point is KDOT had that confrontation,
I
and
saw
he was
it.
standing there with eventually the chief to help. We escorted KDOT out because
Yeah. Oh, that was the sheep.
that was the chief, the lady that you saw in the white.
Ah, gotcha.
That was the chief of police, the interim chief of police for Aurora. Now I turned the camera off. I could have kept the camera on, but I'm gonna let you guys in on what I told the chief. I said, and the whole reason this is coming about is because they murdered KDOT's cousin, and they did this hit piece fucking video saying that he was a wanted felon and made him look bad and all this. Meanwhile, the warrant was based on an eyewitness, right? Get this, eyewitness, right? You can see with your eyes, eyewitness, right? But the witness was blind. How does a blind person become an eyewitness to something and
Yeah.
identify somebody? So
This one.
instead of
I want this one. I smelled him.
yeah,
Suspicious.
right. So so
Nefarious thoughts.
it,
I
it's
touched him and felt the braille of his evil. I'm sorry. I've been thinking of
No,
this for a while.
I know, I know. But what I'm saying to this is, so instead of saying that, right, in her little video vignette thing that she did, explaining what happened with the body cam footage and justifying her officers, I let her fucking have it, Becky and everybody on panel.
Good.
I fucking let her have it. I said, how dare you? How dare you get on a video that was scripted and not mention the fact that the eyewitness was fucking blind and innocent until proven guilty, right? Innocent until proven fucking guilty. But yet you painted this man as a criminal and you justified your officer's action in that video saying that, oh, well, it looked, I mean, insinuation is a hell of a fucking drug with the police. That's how they get away with all of this. And I was giving it to her. And you can ask KDOT. He was a witness to
I
how
believe it. I mean, not everything goes on camera, and that's
so I told her, I said, the change starts with you. You're an interim goddamn police chief here. Start making a goddamn change for a while, for a change. Stop, mealy mouthing all of us on camera. Stop all this fucking pomp and circumstance. The person that can make a change is you. And I know that they're trying to get rid of you already, chief. So why not go out with the fucking bang and get rid of some of these fucking pieces of shit, all right? And start doing the right thing for the community. We're talking about community here, right? It's all about the community. That's all I hear out of your mouth. We want to be transparent for the community. We want to be accountable for the community. Well, this is part of it. So let's fucking start. We don't need to go through legislation to say that it's wrong to beat up somebody or kill somebody. We already have that legislation. Let's start treating criminals like criminals, right? And not treating them like heroes. So let's stop with the bullshit and let's get on with it. You know,
What
a
was your response?
what no, hold on. I'm still going. So I said yeah. I said
He's
I
on a roll. Let him go.
yeah,
No, cook. Let it cook and let it cook.
100%. So I said anybody else would have been in handcuffs and in a jail right now. Why isn't that motherfucker in jail right now? At least go through the process, right? We have due process here. Let's go through the process. Let's see what it looks like. We don't have qualified immunity here. Immediately put handcuffs on the shooter, put him in jail, and whatever fucking happens, happens, right? But no, we put this motherfucker on paid leave, a vacation, and then she turned to me and she says, "Well, I don't want him back in the police force. That's why he's on that leave. I don't want him out."
Jeez.
I'm
Well,
like,
how about fucking firing him?
one. Well, therein lies the rub. Mark Sears and the union step in and say you can't fire this guy without due cause, right? Where's the
Of
he's not
course.
convicted, and I agree, right? Due process, right? Let's make sure that he committed a crime. Let's how about this? Let's get to the point where we charge for crimes with cops first. Let's start charging. I mean, let's go through the process. Let's charge and then have a jury and find out what the jury thinks. And if the jury lets him go, then I'm okay with it. I have to be okay with that because that's the process, right? But we can't even get to that point. And when we do get to that point, that there's so many restrictions on convicting a cop that it inevitably is going to be not guilty 90
It's almost
percent of the time.
as if there's some sort of process that should be due.
Yeah, exactly. Imagine that. Imagine that, Sasquatch. Some
I don't
due
know what you
process,
call
right?
such a thing, such a process.
The public is guilty until proven innocent. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. You're
Right,
guilty until proven innocent.
right.
And cops are innocent until proven guilty. And even that, if it gets to that,
Yeah.
um,
Uh,
if it gets to that.
KT Petus in chat, and I know you're on panel too, KT. Whoever gifted the membership, I believe it was either Pup Groomer, Sir Crepitus, or there was one other person that gifted the newest memberships. And anybody can do that if you want to do that. It does help the channel. I wasn't big on memberships at first, but thanks to this gentleman on screen here, Nampic, he talked a lot of sense to me about memberships and the benefits for the members. So thanks to you, Nampic, for that, and thanks to anybody that has a membership and is gifting memberships or gets a membership. It definitely helps me out big time. Trust me on that. Um,
Oh, yeah.
Carrie Ann's in chat. What's up, Carrie Ann? Um, let's see. What else was I going to say? There was something else I was going to say about. Oh, finishing up the Chief Morris discussion. So, I let her have it, and K Dot was just he was in his own world because his cousin was the one that was murdered, and he was just sitting there contemplating, thinking about what I was saying, looking at the chief, and I said, how many more people like K Dot are we going to have in these positions? How many more? You know, how many more can this community and I said, how many more can this community take before maybe we should go back. I said it's like Old West now, but only Old West for the cops. Maybe we should go back to the Old West days. Everybody has a gun, right? Let's all carry around guns. And I told her, I said, I'm a pacifist. I believe in the Second Amendment, even though I don't even own a gun. But maybe I should. Maybe I should carry one on my hip everywhere I go. Because look, I take a risk when I go cop watching. All of your officers are armed to the hilt with guns on your hip. Maybe I should put a gun on my hip and walk around and maybe then things will be a little bit different, you know. And I hate saying that because I'm not for that. I see all the mass shootings in schools that happen almost on a daily basis now. You know, in malls, in fucking schools, in buildings. You know, you realize that we have on average one a day mass shootings in this country now. I mean, maybe
And you want to know the worst part about it is that we have become desensitized to it. Oh, there was a mass shooting, so and so. Oh, again. Okay, so what are we having for dinner?
right, right. This is the reason why I like Mexican media, Becky. When something horrible happens, like somebody getting decapitated, you know what happens? They put it on the front page news and they show you everything. Here in the United States, we're like you said, we're desensitized. We don't see any of the destruction. I want it on the news. I want CNN and Fox and all these fucking news stations to show you the devastation. I want to see it, and I
Not
want
to,
They
everybody.
couldn't even they couldn't even handle the protest here. Look who they got the coverage from, streets. You see, when they say that streamers are not media, this is what's happening now with Main Street media. The
Right,
streamers are becoming the boots on the ground. They
right.
used to investigate. They used to be on the ground hunting, looking for the next news and bringing in the footage. That doesn't happen anymore. When have you seen? When was the last reporter that you saw? A mainstream media reporter out and actually putting in the footwork.
back in the 70s and the 80s. And this isn't to be immature, but for those that may not grasp or have a learning process, if you've seen the movie Good Morning Vietnam with Robin Williams,
Yep.
there was Robin Williams played a DJ for the military
Mm-hmm.
and was seeing everything live. And every time he went to do his show as a radio broadcaster for the army, he would get a sheet that was censored,
Hmm.
what he could say and what he couldn't say. And when there was an explosion in town, he wanted to leak that so bad, and they said no, but he locked the doors and was doing it anyway. And that's exactly what is going on in our society.
Yeah, we're being censored. Whether it's Fox News, CNN, MS, all of them are corrupt in their own right. You know what I
Well,
mean?
now that's why they hate. That's why they hate the camera. You see, you have to walk outside your door, as outside of your door, as if you are on camera all day, every day. Because let's be real, that's what's happening. I remember having to read 1984 and thought, no, who the hell's gonna have all these cameras around? Is that the government doesn't have money for that?
Ooh, 1984, a great book, a great one.
And let's be real. We walk out of here with the camera in our hand, and they absolutely we what's happening is we're
Script.
flipping the script,
Yeah.
because now instead of the government putting all these cameras on us, which they have done for many many years, now we're putting the cameras on them, and they don't like it,
I
because
want
now
to.
we have to hold, now they're being held accountable.
Yep.
That's why they absolutely hate it. How dare we question their authority?
Yeah.
How dare we question what they have to say to us? How dare we follow their rules, but yet they can't follow the basic rules? They
Yep.
can't follow it themselves.
100%.
I, I agree with Pinche Becky on this one, but also what everybody, including myself, has forgotten that it's not just, oh, TikTokers or YouTubers. Are they not forgetting every time they're in a Walmart, a bank, near
Yeah,
a police station, government buildings,
Uh huh.
every fucking place you go, there are cameras. But
and
yet,
try to get those videos.
right, but
Here,
where
here in
they're
LA, we can't even we cannot get the body cam footage unless it is subpoenaed.
but
And check this out. I know what's going on. They've weaponized kids against us, and I'll tell you why. When I go out on camera, it's like taboo to catch a minor on a camera. I'm like, look, if you're in public, it doesn't fucking. I'm not sitting there oogling kids.
Following them.
Yeah, I'm not following them. None of that. But I hear that argument all the time, right? Well, the kids. Do you remember when cameras first came out, Becky and Nompic and everybody on panel? You guys remember when cameras came out? We were a lot younger then, right? And
Mm-hmm.
what did everybody do?
Uh,
Hi, mom. Hi, mom.
Yep.
Every
Yep.
fucking camera we could find. Hi, mom. Hi, mom. So why are
But
they
wait, let me add to that. Mainstream media, back in the day when my son was about 4 years old, they did a piece on kids with diabetes. My son was playing out in the playground out at Venice Beach. Do you know that they took an image of my kid, plastered it all over their media because they were doing this diabetic for kids whatever piece
right?
on. They
Right.
put my kid out there, and it sounded like my kid was the one with diabetes. Do you know how many phone calls I got that day over that? Now, mainstream media, it's okay for them to take
Right.
pictures of kids
Right.
and videotape the
But it's never
kids and now
okay.
put them on all
We're,
over. But
we're
the
all
minute a kid walks
right.
through our camera,
We're pedophiles. Oh, oh, you captured it. I one time I remember a famous video of mine that somebody co-opted, and I won't mention who. But I remember there was a kid in my video, and I got so much flack for it. I'm like, it's a fucking public library. Like, what are you guys flipping out for? I'm not following the kid around. I have no interest in the kid. The kid happens to be in the frame of my fucking camera. It's as simple as that. It doesn't have to be harder than that. I mean, come on, man. I mean,
You know what's
yeah,
I'm sorry. What's happened in the world is really changed that the attitudes of people. It used to be you treated everyone else with respect, and it was a good time, you know. But
yeah,
now with the media being so available to everybody, you're not only getting the good to get the good information out there,
you get
but you've got the bad also getting the information out there. And
yeah,
what needs to be done is to police the bad, especially when it comes to these uh, porn sites and stuff.
right.
Is it necessary to put it? It used to be that if you wanted to go watch a movie, you went to a place that was out of town and did it privately. But now they've got it so you can just click a button here, click a button there, and you're watching all out pornography.
Yeah,
And to me, they need to police that better, you know, to
yeah.
get that away from the ones, especially the kids who
it's
have it
it's
available to
running
them.
amok. Remember when you had to go
Yes.
to the store and buy the magazine? And let me tell you, I did buy a magazine once because I was the only girl in a classroom of 40 something boys, and we had to read a book, magazine, whatever it was, for 15 minutes in that period once a week. Well, they chose to do Playboy. Now, being the only girl in there, I wasn't going to go toe to toe with them. What I did is I went and I got an equivalent, brought it into the classroom, and started reading dick pics. And when they were so upset over it, I told the teacher, "Well, if they can do it, why can't I?"
I love it, Becky. I love
It was an electronics class. Yep.
it.
Mhm.
uh,
I
Big Chief is in the house, and talk
Big
about a
Chief,
throwback,
Big Chef, ¿cómo estás?
Big Chef. And
I
then, uh,
He will forever be Big Chef to me.
and talk about throwback. Pippi Longstocking is in the house. What's up?
Pippi Longstocking. Wow, I love her. He said I like her
Yeah, everybody loved cameras back in the day, and now all of a sudden we're all the devil because we have cameras. It's so ridiculous. But
because we're catching people. And you know the camera again. The camera. It's a good thing. It's a bad thing. I
Tanya,
have to go.
thank you.
Bye, Fairy. Love you.
Yeah,
Let's be real. The camera, if I'm picking my nose, here comes the camera. I'm picking my nose. I'm picking a wedgie off my ass, whatever it may be.
I'll just
That gets
cover my
captured.
eyes.
That gets captured now, right? And so Again, I understand when I was a kid looking at porn was finding your dad's 10. Yeah, exactly. Under the mattress. I
I
never
mean,
look under my
Chris,
dad's
you
mattress.
Chris, you can't tell me you didn't have the Swedish bikini team Playboy. I know you did. I know you did. We all did.
Who?
Um,
Me?
something that
You,
is historically accurate in every case. If you are not proud of what you are doing, you do not want a camera around. But if you
Yep.
are proud of what you are doing, then you want to be documented doing it. You might not need to be documented doing it, but being documented doing it and being proud of it go hand in hand. Whereas being dishonest or doing something that you're not proud of, you don't want that documented. Think about this. Like, why do cops fight so hard against having cameras? The only ones that would are the people who know they do slash stuff on the side
right. And they're okay with the body cams that they have set
because they can turn them off.
because they can turn them off, and also that footage is edited all the time. All the time, that footage is edited.
You
So
guys, getting back to the police officers, though,
yeah,
it's a catch 22. So, what you were discussing about what happened and getting promoted, it's like a double edged sword, a cleanup on aisle 9, if you will. The officer did bad, and of course, people want to see the officer punished. But to not have an internal investigation, they
Thank you, Vincent.
schmooze,
Sorry. Vincent just gifted 5 memberships.
they try to smooth it over to their employee so the employee doesn't rile up everything in the department and give him the cushiony job and a promotion. So, what I'm trying to say is that everything in life is a double edged sword, depending on the situation. One person might say that looks horrible, another person might say congratulations. But somebody had also said, which it makes a lot of sense to me.
right.
When in off, it's bad enough when civilians commit crimes. I'm not talking about petty bullshit. I'm talking
Yeah.
about crimes, right? But when an officer does that, they are already held to a higher standards. For
Yeah.
them to do that, they should not get a pat on the back and say, "Don't worry, we'll protect you." Fuck you, and fuck you and the horse you rode in on.
Yeah.
Why should people not be held accountable? Now, this is the same thing for the rich.
Yeah.
Money
Yeah.
doesn't always bring you happiness. However, it does buy you a free ticket to get out of jail card.
Drugs.
Do not pass go and do
Yeah.
not collect $200.
Right. Right.
Does that make sense, or am I talking out of
No,
my
no, no.
ass?
You're
No,
making
No,
it's true. I see it. The only difference between the users in Beverly Hills and the users out on Skid Road is that Beverly Hills has big, huge mansion doors.
yeah. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
only difference.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Right. Uh,
Uh,
Conspiracy Music is in chat. What's up, Conspiracy? Conspiracy, can you please email me? I want to do sometime this month. I'm going to do a members only stream with Conspiracy Music. He's a very talented guitarist, and I want to have just a really fun, chill stream with Conspiracy. I know he's got tons of friends that could come on and play a little bit of music for us. So Conspiracy, can you please email me? I want to set that up ASAP for the members. And if you're a non-member, don't worry. I will release that video a day or two later, so you have no worries there. I don't want anything ever to be held behind a
Over
paywall
money.
for you guys. So you want to talk about a panty dropper, conspiracy music all day long. So look forward to look forward to that, everybody.
They drop their panties all day long.
All day long. You just listen to him play guitar, and then you be the
I
judge.
have to go. I have to listen to him. I love Santana's guitar. Oh my God, I can just listen to his guitar all day.
Conspiracy music has kind of that vibe, Becky.
Oh, okay.
So
To any
very very good, very good. He does like a lot of freestyle guitar like Santana. A quick story about Santana, Becky. Since you brought up Santana, why not have a little bit of fun, right? So when I was in college, I got a ticket to see Santana at that time. It was called Fiddler's Green, which is a horrible place to see concerts, but it's kind of like a lawn type place where general admission is a lawn. They have seats and stuff, but so I was in college and I had ticket, and months go by, right? Months go by and the concert's getting closer, and I'm doing my thing. I'm in college, just learning and studying and whatever. And I'm sitting there, studying for a test that I got. I think it was in political science. And I was thinking about it, and this was late. This was probably about 6, 7 at night. And I was like, I looked down and I was thinking about things, and I heard Santana song, right? And I'm like, oh my God, I got tickets to Santana, right? And it was that day, and it was right in the middle of the concert. I totally missed that concert because I
Oh
totally forgot
no.
about it. Yep, yep. I've never seen Santana in concert, Becky, because I fucking forgot that one day in college. It always sticks with me, and it sucks. Kip LA is in the house. You want to talk about a really cool graphic designer? Kip LA is awesome. And if you guys want to know where I got my logo that you see, and also the banner on my channel, it was from Kip LA, and I'll never
Oh
forget it.
wow.
Kip LA stepped up at a time. See, here's another quick little story, guys. I was threatened with the lawsuit from somebody with my previous logo because they had made a logo for me and gave it to me, and I have the email to prove it. And they said, you can't use my logo anymore. If you do, I want the money from your channel and blah blah blah. And at this time, I wasn't making hardly anything, right? I didn't have memberships or anything. It was just the pennies that I got from the videos themselves. And so I was like, you know what? Fuck you, dude. You gave me this logo. So I took that to heart, and I put it out to the community, and I said, if anybody can help me design a logo for my channel, can you please, email? And Kip LA was the one that stepped up, and he's like, fuck yeah, I could do that, dude. And he created that logo and the banner that I have on with the mental health awareness and the Aztec monster thing. I mean, it was just perfect. And Kip LA is to be commended for that. You stepped up, Kip LA, and I'll never ever forget it. Really cool. All right, so who else was in chat that I forgot? There was someone else. Santana Tower Power War, all soundtrack for a lot of Chicanos. Yep, 100%, Big Chief. 100%. War especially, man. War is such an underrated band. They're so good. Um, what else do we got here? Did I
My
miss?
dad used to play guitar, acoustic guitar. I have his guitar here, and
Yeah.
let me just tell you, just the guitar alone, it's just there's something about, I guess because it brings back so many good childhood memories. I had
Yeah.
a wonderful dad.
My,
I
my
did. I
yeah.
mean, I like I say, I'm a walking trauma case, but it had nothing to do with my dad.
Have you ever heard my
And
dad sing, Becky? You ever
I'm
heard him?
sorry?
Have you ever heard my dad sing?
No. Your
Oh,
dad?
my dad. Yeah, he's a world class singer. I bet you
Really?
didn't. Yeah,
MLH, you're doxing yourself, bro.
I know. I know. It's okay. It's all good. It's all good.
Silencio, silencio, cállate la boca,
No,
man.
no, 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 no. I'm gonna hold on, hold on. I'm gonna play just a little bit of this song. Here we go. This is my dad singing. Hold
Is
on.
your dad gonna strike you?
Of course,
Copyright strike?
no. YouTube will though. Hold on. Here we go. Hold on. I'll just play a little bit, just a little bit. Just a little bit, so you can get a taste, Becky. Hold on.
querido y a mi santo preferido no volver a molestarte. Le pedí que me nublara los sentidos y la mente para ya nunca buscarte.
What do you think, Becky?
Reminds me of my dad.
Yeah, he's really good. He's really good. Always
Yeah.
has been. Always has been. I'll send you that. Actually, I'll put the link. Hold on. Let me get a better link in chat so people can. Hold on.
You know, my dad sang at a
You,
last wedding, and I couldn't have my dad sing to me for mine.
you sure
That
you want to
reminds
my
drop
me of
God.
that
my
link,
dad.
MLH?
I'm dropping the link.
Bro. Bro.
What?
Bro. like the LA people. Bro.
Look, the KGP. I've been doxxed by the Aurora Police Department. I don't really care. I'm very proud of my dad singing
Yeah.
and what he
No,
does.
no, I'm just fucking
There's
with
the link in chat there.
I'm
Hey,
reading the comments.
hey, Kip LA, check out that video. He really is.
Oh, look at what Big Chief says. ¿Y cómo
Yeah.
no hablas español y tienes a pa, mariachi, güey? How is it that you don't speak Spanish and you
I
have a
do speak
dad from?
Spanish. Yeah, I speak Spanish, Big Chief. I'm just not very good at it.
No, I'm just. Oh, Big Chief. I thought you said pinche.
No, Big Chief, not pinche.
Dude, you don't even speak English straight. What the hell's wrong with you? I'm the one from Georgia. I should be having the problem, and yet you're the issue. I don't understand.
Well, I'm only the issue because you made me the issue, Sasquatch.
You remember when Taco Bell came out with that commercial back in the day? It's like, yo quiero Taco Bell. That's like the most the white people spoke Spanish.
Oh my goodness.
Let me tell you, that offended so many people that were offended for us Mexican people. We were
Yeah.
like, it's a fucking chihuahua. What's wrong with that?
He's a
It's a fucking chihuahua. It's a chihuahua. It's okay. To this day, and that and Speedy Gonzalez. Oh my God. People are so offended when these, it's funny. People get offended for other people. And I mean, people just get offended. They just
a
want to
lot
get
of
offended
people
for the
just
fuck of
get
it.
offended. Some people wake up in the morning with outrage on their mind, and
It's true.
and so a lot of times, and I'm not saying anything about anyone in particular, but a lot of time these very unhappy people hide their anger and angst behind the concept of activism. They say they're active in a particular community when really they just show up and spew hatred and vile nastiness all around them. They're not an activist, they're just an asshole.
Well, that happens to a lot of people. They I don't understand it, and maybe thank God I don't understand it. Waking up and thinking, how is it that I'm gonna fuck up somebody's day today? Can you let's step back, and it's not in a particular person. That's not even
Yeah.
but let's think about that. And I said this in my lemonade video that by the way, I had to private all my videos now, and there's reasons for that. But
By the
they
way,
wake up. Can you imagine being that person? Because hatred, when you hate someone, like
yeah,
truly
I
detest
know.
someone, and you feel that in the pit of your stomach, and you're just like, oh, I wish I can just punch somebody in the face or what have you.
I reserve that feeling for family members, Becky.
No, I mean, let's be real. You see that person at a family party or what have you, and you're just thinking, "Oh my God, I gotta get out of here because I'm gonna punch somebody." But can you imagine waking up with that feeling
I
every single day of your life when
yeah,
you wake up and you're like, "Oh, I can't
yeah.
stand so and so," and this is a daily occurrence. I cannot. I mean, I go to a wedding and I see someone that just is dirty. I'm just like, oh my Lord. And even leave it at that. I will continue to have my fun, ignore them completely. They're not there. I'm very good at doing that. But can you imagine waking up with that feeling every single day and trying to cause people harm, just for fucks and giggles.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't understand that, Becky. But I want to butcher something that I. This has nothing to do with what Sasquatch said, but I'm a civil rights activist. And I don't I don't spew hatred around Sasquatch.
I wasn't talking about you. I'm talking
I
about
was just
those people who hide their
really,
actual troll
hey,
actions behind the veneer of activism. They say they're for some particular thing,
check
when in
this out.
reality,
Check.
they're just spewing vile hatred.
I know. I was just. That. Hence, I said it has nothing to do with what you said, Sasquatch.
Hey,
But
Becky.
go ahead, Numpik.
Oh, I was just going to tell Becky, when you get my age, 70, the thing that you look forward to in the morning is not hearing more sounds than you normally hear when you get out of bed, because I've got the
Right?
snap, crackle, pop thing going on.
I
So
got
I don't
that
want to
going
hear
on
anything else.
now. I've been, I turn my neck. That's why you constantly see me. I turn my neck a lot, and it starts creaking.
I know what.
Now they told me I needed surgery for my back,
I know
and
what.
I'm like, nah, you ain't touching my back, bro.
Yeah,
No.
I know what that's from, Becky. But I'm gonna save that for hot tub. Okay.
Oh shit.
Oh,
Bernie, help!
Cinderella says when my 9-year-old grandson doesn't like something I do, he calls me bro.
Bro.
oh,
Cinderella. You know what? Let me tell you about Cinderella. Every time I see her in a chat, and I always tell her, I just want to sing the song Cinderella,
Yeah.
Cinderella. My favorite.
One of my daughter's most hated references is the term bruh.
Brah.
Bro.
Says out loud. Things have already gone far too wrong for her taste, and she's trying to figure out somewhere else to be.
Well,
Yeah.
from what I understand, that's like a Hawaiian thing. They say "bra," and or the surfers. But
That's where we heard it
some of
here in
the
LA was from the surfers.
some
Bruh.
yeah, but some of the streamers like bro, and but here's the thing, Pinche, because I don't have contact with you on a personal level. One thing Sasquatch did say, if I don't know if you heard him say it, he said, if you're filming something that you feel good about, then fuck everybody else. That part was my words. If it's something that doesn't make you feel good, then don't film it. With that being said, you do what you feel is right and you're comfortable with. You're your own person. But by taking your videos down, in my opinion, you're letting them win. You're letting
No,
anything win.
there's reasons for that I did that I don't want to really discuss
Oh,
right
okay.
now. It has
All right.
nothing to do with
If I
legal issues.
if
It
I
has nothing to do with that.
if I overstepped, I apologize.
No, 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 no,
I
no,
just
no, no,
I,
no, you didn't. And
what I was
nothing you say really offend. It takes a lot for me to be offended. Let me tell you that. I mean, if you're out in the encampments, trust me, you see a lot, you hear a lot. Nothing offends me.
Yeah. Yeah.
well, what I was saying, what I was
I'm
saying.
looking at Big Chief's comment. Some people sleep with their fists balled up, wake up angry at breakfast. Yeah, you're right. And
And to
unfortunately, I've
some
met
people,
a couple of them.
some people, the only way they can feel better about themselves is to make others miserable because they have their own thing going on. But for me, I'll tell you what. You want to talk about fuck around and find out? That's not a threat. That's a promise. I have had enough shit in my life, speaking for myself, that it's bad enough what happened in my own family. I'll be damned if some motherfucker off the street's going to come at me like that. And I'm not talking about like one of those uptight white, Karens and shit like that.
Yep.
I have thick skin. Stop being so goddamn sensitive. But when push comes to shove, my rule of thumb in life is don't fuck with me, my family, my food, or my money. You fuck with my shit, bro, it's coming on. It's on like Donkey Kong.
I like having a Karen around. You never know when someone needs to talk to their manager.
Right.
All I'm saying is my wife is an excellent Karen, but she's an excellent Karen because she does take direction. when things get to that point where the cops are about to get involved, I can look at her and say, "Go sit in the car," and she'll slap her teeth together, turn, and go. Because one time she did not. Right. And she had to go talk to the police and stuff, and all that had to be worked out. But I told her after that, I was like, look, if I am a very free-willed individual. If you want to do something, you go balls out, go do it. I'm not going to get in your way unless it becomes illegal, at which point in time I'm going to ask you to go get in the car. I'm going to do nicely. The second time I say go get in the car, and if I ever get to bitch get in the car, I'm already going to be in the car, putting it in reverse, and you're dealing with this on your own.
Yep.
It's like
Yep.
that's a smart man and husband. It's like, listen, I love you till death do us part, but when it comes to the handcuffs, bitch, I don't know you.
You see, here's the thing. I don't have to know how many they're going to bring to that fight.
Well, when this is when you're complaining about anything, whether it's to the cops, whether it's to Disneyland, I don't care. I've done it both. You don't start up here. You start, like I always say, you stepped on my foot. Excuse me, you stepped on my foot. Okay. Excuse me, the second time, you stepped on my foot. Chances are there won't be a third, because by then my foot will be so up your ass. But you do
It's not always what you say, it's how you say it.
well, yeah, but you don't want to start off yelling, screaming. How many times did on these videos about Becky doesn't protest, Becky doesn't yell this, well, let me tell you, I know my community, and I'm not going to go out there and start off with Scientology first, because I'm going to tell you, people shut down. The minute you bring up Scientology, people shut down. So I always start off with, and this is stuff that doesn't go on camera. I don't need to put it on camera. There's no need for that.
I do.
If we're in a conversation with anybody and they start, no, there's this cult going around and they're abusing kids. And I might not use their terminology, because let's be real, I don't know their terminology, and I'm the first one to admit it. I don't know the terminology. But again, auditing to me sounds like, damn, I didn't do my taxes.
Yeah.
You see?
Yeah.
And so I use the word confessions. I use the words that the community will understand.
Yeah.
And then when they ask, well, what's the name of the cult? Scientology. And you should see their face. Because a lot of people believe that Scientology is nothing but a book.
Yeah.
It's a self-help book. That's all it is.
Excuse me to interrupt, Becky. I'm sorry. Sometimes I have short memory. MLH, may I ask Namfika a question?
You're on panel. Go ahead.
All right. Well, just because I got a big ass and no tits doesn't mean I run the show. It's your channel. Namfik, question for you, because you were in transit. What do you think of that idea about until the government does something, just because we're talking about homeless, right, in transit and the way the cops are railroading the homeless? What do you think about that idea of people going to their city, town, or whatnot county and trying to implement buy a pass, give a pass for trains, buses, and subways?
What they're doing here, that's a good question. What they're doing here in Snohomish County is they are going to abolish having to pay to get on the bus. In other words, they're going to let everyone ride for free.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
100%.
They are going to do that here.
Outstanding.
Yes.
And what state is that in?
This is the beautiful state of Washington.
Outstanding. That's fantastic. But what about the areas that aren't that intelligent to do that?
Well, they're going to try to get everybody in the state to do it. You got to take baby steps before you can start running. So they want to make sure that everyone's on board and they see the advantage of it. The big thing that they have with the drivers back here are the confrontations with people who get on the bus and, oh, you're going the wrong way. No, I'm not. I'm going the right way. Please have a seat. Well, the minute you tell somebody have a seat, they think you're telling them what to do, and then there's a confrontation, and pretty soon the bus driver gets punched in the nose,
Yeah.
or even worse. So the less confrontation, and they told us as
Thank you.
drivers, the less you can have as far as a confrontation, the better your day is going to go. If they somebody gets on the bus, don't look at them right away and say good morning, because actually they may have had a lousy morning and you're just making it worse for them by saying that. Let them first approach you and say good morning, and if they do, then you say good morning back. So it's how you deal with the situation. But yes, they're trying very hard to get no no pay for the service, since we are partially funded by the federal government.
Yeah.
So
Well,
Well,
what about the state that others live in that do not have that? I'm talking about until, say for example, New York, right? We got buses, subways, trains, all that, right? And they run on the 10. I can't afford a pass. What do you think about implementing, hey, uh MLH bought a pass, but he also bought to give a pass. What do you think of that idea for now until things change?
for for him to give you a pass, or you to give him the pass?
Okay, say I buy a
Either
all
or.
day. I say
Okay.
either or, but say I buy a all day pass and it's $4, right?
Okay.
But for $2 more or $1 more, that extra dollar or two will pay for someone like myself that doesn't have the money, or I'm homeless, and say, here, KT PETA, I bought a bus pass, but I bought an extra one, and you could use that. Here you go. You're homeless.
I think what they could do, I like your idea. And I think what they could do is these people that are on low income, like they do here, you can apply. You don't have to be handicapped or anything like that. You
Yeah.
can be low income and still get a reduced fare pass.
Yes,
yeah.
you
Yeah.
can.
So, which is really nice because they know, hey, you can't just put in all the money at one time, because you don't have the money for it. So they give you the reduced fare pass and you can ride the bus.
But not everybody has that. So let me use another analogy, because
Okay.
sometimes people don't understand me, and forgive me.
Okay.
No,
Okay.
I think he's
There's
agreeing with
there's
you.
And
no,
you.
I know he's agreeing with me, but what I'm saying is, okay, so there's a pizzeria. You
Uh-huh.
buy a piece of pizza, and for $1 more, you buy a piece of pizza. So that ticket goes up on the wall. This would be something where you buy passes at. That person that's homeless comes in and goes off the wall and takes that ticket and presents it to the guy at the pizza counter, so he could have, or she could have, a slice of pizza.
Yeah, you're talking to the pay it forward method, KT PETA, and people do this all the time, especially at places like Starbucks, right? I used to do it all the time. Like I'd go to Starbucks for Bernie, and I'd get we don't do Starbucks anymore because it's too expensive, but I would buy her coffee, and then I'll pay for the person behind me as long as it's not too outrageous, as long as it's not, you know, over $20 or something. I'll
Right.
pay for their
Now,
yeah, it's a method that does work, but again, it's up to the fucking people, right? Like what I'm talking about is the government with all the tax revenue they get capping their pay, right? I.e., senators and Congress people and
all,
police
all
and
the rich and corrupt.
right, the rich and corrupt, and using that excess of money to do stuff like free public transportation, free healthcare, right? Because I think it's absolutely ludicrous that we're tied to our jobs with fucking healthcare.
Yeah.
Why should you be tied? Why should an employer want that? You know,
Yeah.
employers should be all over it saying, "No, fuck that. We don't want to pay for everybody's insurance and have them bound. We want to be able to hire some uh um people when we want to. We don't want to be bound by the and people shouldn't be beholden to their job either.
Well,
You
it's
should.
even worse than that. It's even worse than that, MLH, because what they do is they fire or demote the full time people and then hire a bunch of part timers so they don't have to pay insurance for
Yeah.
I
their
get that.
job.
Yeah, they do that.
That's it. They doing it everywhere.
Yeah.
They
So
do that, especially at fast food places. If
That's
yeah.
how they
let's
cut
say
corners.
they give you after 32 hours at a fast food place, they give you 32 hours. And if you do 32 hours for 3 months, now you're eligible for their insurance. Well, what happens is they will do 32 hours, and then the week before they're due to get their insurance, they'll reduce the hours. So
Yeah.
now you didn't meet the criteria so for the
But
health insurance.
that's what I'm saying. That's when the government implemented that. Then the rich and the big wigs in the companies and corporations said, "Oh shit, we don't want to pay all that. So how do we work around it?" Their wheels spun, and they said, "I know they're not full time. Let's only hire part time employees." That's how they went
Yes.
around it.
Yeah. So here's what I'm going to tell everybody about all that nonsense, and then we're going to go around the table and give our final thoughts and stuff because I we're well over 2 hours now. Um, uh, I'm with you, KT, PETA, on that 100%. Um, it's we're a country that's run by oligarchs and corporations. It's not a democracy. It's a corporateocracy and it's a oligarchy, right? It's a combination of those two things. The rich and powerful control everything in this country, and I wish we were a lot more like how France does things, or some of these European countries. Like when France raised their Social Security age from 62 to 65, they fucking got out in the streets in the millions, right? I'm not talking some small little ass protest. I'm talking huge millions. I wish we would do that here. I wish we would do that. Nameless says MLH won't live here. It's too hot, 113 plus in Arizona. You're damn right I won't live there, man. It's way too hot.
Shit.
Way too. Namfik and I have talked about the heat, and I can't deal with it, man. And
I
yeah.
got something to beat the heat over here, man.
I bet you do.
It's called humidity. It's so juicy out in this mug. I'm growing mushrooms on my eyebrow. My ringworm called me up yesterday and told me it had jock itch and wanted to discuss the terms and conditions with me. I am so juicy right now.
I feel Chef from South Park Salty Bowl song coming on.
Extra swamp ass.
All right. Let's see. Chris says UPS was doing that, not hiring employees as full time, so they don't have to pay for health care. They
Well,
don't.
because healthcare became so expensive, even for the employers. I used to work for a major insurance company,
Yeah.
health insurance company.
Yeah.
And when the Obamacare hit, I mean, insurance is not just for the employers, but insurances for everyday people went from 200 and something a month to 1,000 and something a month.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the benefits were also cut. So let me just say something before I forget, because I will forget. For
Yeah.
anyone in California who's on Medi-Cal, you're able to get free rides to your provider's office. So if you're on Medi-Cal, contact your Medi-Cal, your insurance, because here you have to have, most of them have to have an insurance through Medi-Cal. So let's say it's HealthNet, I don't know, whatever it may be, HealthNet, LA Care. Call them up and tell them that you need your transportation to your doctor's office. It is not normally access, where it's a bus that comes and goes picking up people. That is done for mostly for wheelchair bound people. But they will send you a Lyft or an Uber to go pick you up and take you to your doctor's appointments. That is a benefit. That's a benefit of your Medi-Cal. It might be a benefit of your health insurance, depending on your health insurance. So transportation. Again, so many people are barely making it barely making it, and they can't get to their doctor's office. We're not talking the people that are out in the streets. We're talking everyday people. They're not making it, and they have to get, I don't know, their medications from Save-Ons. Your Medi-Cal covers it. And it's time for us to start using our resources around our area. You know, if you're really in need of, I don't know, I mean, food services, there's pantries, there's, you know, we need to start using our resources that we're paying so much taxes on.
Yeah.
You know, in
Yeah.
California alone, I think it was about 3 years ago, they sent back millions of dollars that was supposed to be allocated to the homeless because they weren't being used. I don't get health care through my employer. I can't afford it. It's literally cheap. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, Covered California, you guys might have an equivalent to your state. Covered California, contact them. It is based on your income. Healthcare in this country is a joke. Yes, it is a joke. And this is something that I fight for. Again, I started off as a patient advocate. I am a patient advocate first. I will go into hospitals, and I have done it many times, and request. So if you're I think there was someone in here that I can't remember who it was, that their workers' comp was not paying for their surgery. Well, if you have surgery through your husband's employer, I think it was fair. If they have insurance through your employer and your workers' comp is not paying for that needed surgery, go through your insurance through your husband's insurance, and they will pay for the as long as it gets authorized, they will pay for that surgery, and then they will fight for you. They will fight for their own money. Trust me, they want their money, so they're going to recoup it from the workers' comp. So there are ways around it. Unfortunately, unless you are in healthcare or you are in some type of insurance knowledge, you don't know this stuff. If you need
Yeah.
the care, there's always an appeal. If
Yeah.
it gets denied, appeal it. In California, you have level 1 appeals, which I used to do, level 2 appeals, well, I also used to do, and the Department of Managed Healthcare. So this is what happens. Let's say PETA needs surgery for her toe. Insurance company denies it, you appeal it. They have 30 days to respond. They deny it again, you appeal it again. 30 days to respond. Now, if it gets denied twice, now you can, in California, again, I'm talking California, there might be an equivalent to your state. The Department of Managed Healthcare now gets involved and says, you know what, PETA really needs this foot surgery. They will approve it. They will pay for it, and then they will recoup it from your own health insurance. So there are ways around it. It might be time consuming, and a lot of us don't have the time nor the patience for it, and that's what they're counting on. It's with anything.
But that's what I'm.
So I do appeals. I do help people with their appeals. I normally type up their appeals,
Yeah.
and it gets approved because I know the language.
Yeah.
So
It shouldn't come to this.
I
Is the point,
but
Becky?
Mexican long hair, I know that.
I know.
I've been in healthcare way too many years to
You know
know
what?
the
You
process.
and I are a lot of the same because we're resourceful, Becky, and we always figure out a way, right? Or we figure out
It shouldn't be that way. I agree with you. But
it's
what are we going to do in the meantime?
we
If
have
we're
to
if
do the
we're not going to our city council meetings, not well, let me say our neighborhood council, because let's start with the neighborhood council. Those meetings, you can go in there. What's going on in your neighborhood? You know what? We're getting tickets, and this is something that did come up. They were getting tickets for X, Y, and Z reasons. Why?
yeah,
Okay, now our neighborhood council representative goes and finds out why these tickets were being given when they were not appropriate.
yeah,
So start off by, and I know it's a pain in the ass, trust me. Oh my God,
yeah,
I absolutely hate it. It's a
yeah.
pain in the ass going to these council meetings, going to these
I
neighborhood
know.
council meetings.
Trust me, I go to them, Becky. I know. Yeah,
And so, but yes, but the especially in our community, let's be real. I have yet to see my neighbors go out there and they complain that the city light has been broken. Well, don't expect the city to come around and say, "Yep, it's broken." Call your fucking city and get it done. I did it.
Yeah, yeah.
So I
You
mean,
have
I
to.
know it's a pain in the ass,
Yeah,
but they're there for us. And if
yeah,
we don't use those services, if we do not demand those services, then who's going to demand it for us?
yeah. All right. Let me get to some things in chat here. Strange is a sadist. He says he likes 120-degree heat. I who was it? I got to get your name right. Nameless is in Phoenix, I think, and that's where Bernie is from. And we refuse to go back there, man. It's way too freaking hot, man. It
Where
is
is this at?
Phoenix, Arizona.
Oh, Arizona. Oh, no. We went to Arizona last year. I loved it. We went to Sedona.
It's too hot. It's too hot for
It,
me.
well, that day it kind of rained. So all the dust settled. We had a perfect Sedona day. I mean, it was
Yeah, well,
perfect.
that's nice. That's nice.
I know it was the exception to the rule. I love California.
Yeah.
No, I'm not leaving
California's got
LA
perfect
anytime
weather,
soon.
especially Southern California. Just perfect weather all the damn time. That's the only thing I envy about you over there, Becky, is the weather, like all year round. Like here, like it's always nice, except in the winter, like for 1 or 2 months. But other than that, it's so fucking nice here. It
Well,
is so
Southern California, we do have seasons.
yeah,
We have flood season. We have fire season. We do have seasons.
yeah.
Earthquake season. Yeah, we do have seasons.
Yeah, I agree with you, pup. It's way too expensive. You shouldn't have to be tied. Like that's what's killing small businesses is not the fact that, they're just small businesses. The fact is they pay too much. They, like for healthcare. That's the big reason why people
Well,
can't get
everything is going up. Why is everything going up? You see, back in our day, if we did not agree with something, we would protest it.
yeah,
Why are we allowing these markets to get away with jacking up the price so high on all the food products?
yeah.
Sometimes it's cheaper to go to a restaurant now than it
Yep,
is to go to the market and buy your own food.
100%.
I'm being
100%.
serious.
No, you're right. You're right, Beck.
And it should not be that way. You go to the market and it's what, $15 a pound for carne ranchera,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
asada meat.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
fucking ridiculous. No.
Yeah,
Tomatoes, $2 a pound.
yeah.
No, it's getting, and let me back up because I'm on a roll now. And you guys, after this, I will shut up for you all. Our market here was selling spoiled meat in December. Spoiled meat. And they are owned by the same corporation as Smart and Final. I put in a complaint. First, they told me I needed to take the whole pot. I called them and I said, "You're selling spoiled meat." Make a long story short, I went and I got all my money back, not just for the meat they sold me, but for everything for the pozole, because I wasn't going to be sitting around. But let me tell you what they said. One of the butchers, the head butcher there, when one of the clerks there was telling him about it, and this is something she and I talked about. She said, "Well, he did say that most people that come in here are on welfare, so who cares?"
Oh my God.
Oh, I put in a complaint to the city. Oh, yes, I did.
Ooh-wee,
Yes,
man.
I
That would
did.
have
Food safety.
yeah.
Food safety. Sedona not as hot as Phoenix. Oh no, I couldn't do that. Mm-mm.
Yeah,
Mm-mm.
Phoenix is
Mm-mm.
way too hot. That's where Bernie's from, Becky.
From
Does
Phoenix?
yeah. Well,
You
she
know,
grew
I
up
I
she
like the state when I went. It's beautiful. I
she
loved Colorado.
yeah,
I loved Colorado. I drove from Fort Collins, I think it was Colorado Springs, all the way to Colorado Springs.
yeah, it's
Stopped
really
at
nice.
every little location that I was told to stop. Garden, what is it? Garden of the Gods.
Yeah, Garden of the Gods, it's really nice there too.
I loved it. But those mountains get on my nerves. I feel like I need to be on top of it because I can't, because they're right here.
Becky, when you come back, I'll take you to some spots in the mountains that I think you would really love. I think you would
I
really.
went up to Glacier Park. My cousin married a native, and after the Catholic ceremony, the next day we went up to their powwow. And let me tell you, it was an experience
Yeah, yeah.
that like no other.
Did you happen to go to Mother Cabrini by chance? Mother Cabrini
To
Shrine.
where?
Mother Cabrini Shrine. It's like a little mini pilgrimage. You would enjoy it. You would enjoy it.
Oh, I would love that. I do have family out there that I haven't seen in a while. It would be great. I mean, I would love to go out there. It's just right now with my mom. I
Yeah,
have my mom, and
I know.
you
Yeah,
know,
yeah, someday you got to get out here, Becky, because it's
well, I might be sooner than later. I'm gonna tell
I,
you that much
yeah,
because I need a
strange.
break.
Yeah, Strange says he doesn't like Colorado, even though he's from here. I love it here, Strange. I think you're just a desert rat, Strange. Something about you just
Good.
you love that heat. But I did a
Oh, like
wedding.
a flea factory.
I did a wedding on Boulder Creek last night, like right on the. Ooh, that's cool. Okay, so we're gonna end it here. Sorry, it was a long stream, but I think we got a lot of good information out there. But
It was a fun stream.
stay tuned because the war on the homeless isn't done yet in Aurora, and I'll be doing a series of videos on it. I know the Scientology people might be like, when are you going back to that building? I will be back at that building at some point, but these next 2 weeks are going to be really dicey because I got this tank of a car of a rental, and it's costing me a lot in gas. So I really have to, be judicious with that and
You
not.
do what you have to do,
Yeah,
and that's the beauty of having your own channel, that you're able to. I don't think anywhere in your channel does it say specifically for this cost.
right.
We
No, as
can
a matter
do
of fact,
multiple.
it's right. I do all kinds of things on this channel, Becky. It's always been that way. I'm a jack of all trades. I'm a master of
Yeah.
none. You know what I mean? So that's how it's always going to be. But let's get our final thoughts on the whole homeless thing. The police versus the homeless here in Aurora. Let's start with PETA. I know you've been kind of quiet, PETA, but what are your final thoughts? And then we'll go around the horn here.
My final thoughts is this to any officers or people in general, civilians out there. You just take a look for a moment and stop and try to not be so selfish and think that's somebody's family member or friend out there. And we don't know the full story. The homeless are human beings. Just
Mhm.
try to be kind and compassionate. Not all humans and homeless are degenerates. And you know what? If you help one homeless person, whether you're an officer of the law or a civilian, and you get burned, it's just like a relationship. Don't just stop and stop being kind. Don't take that bad experience with you and assume that the next person is going to do you wrong.
Right.
That's
Right.
life in general as well. Thank you.
Hey, perfect, KT PETA. Sasquatch, any final thoughts?
Don't drive angry now. It's July 4th out there, y'all. There's gonna be some mad mofos driving around drunk as all hell sins. So y'all remember, don't drive angry now.
Yeah, and definitely don't drink and drive over this holiday week or
Yes.
midweek day. That's just, it's always an important message.
It's
Nampik,
tomorrow. Yeah.
yeah, tomorrow. Nampik,
Okay, we've just got to remind the police officers that they were on the other side of the fence at one time. Try to remain to where you have that perspective, even though you are a police officer. When you see a homeless person, rather than to point the finger, offer an open hand.
hmm,
Uh, be careful this 4th of July. There's a lot of people out there who like to celebrate a little bit more than what they should. So be mindful of those people out there. Um, say what's on your mind, but be mindful what you say.
Mm, very good, Nompic. Very good. Very good. I like it. Becky, you final thoughts.
Well, my thoughts on the whole homeless unhoused, whichever word you want to use is fine. It's I mean, it's a word. Um, like Peter said, remember that they are humans. They are a story. Most people start using due to a trauma in their life. And you know, bottom line is just be kind. Just be kind to one another. It really does not take a lot. I mean, if you can't be kind to someone, at least don't make it a shitty day for them. Don't
Mm,
don't bring people down when they're already sitting on the floor. Don't put that boot on their neck. Are unhoused right now. A lot of them argued because they couldn't pay their rent and they're out there now. Just be a little kind. If you have the money, I don't personally give out money. Buy them a drink, a Coke, buy them a Pepsi, whatever it is, and if you don't even have for that, that's okay too. Just say good morning to them, good afternoon, how are you doing? Spend 2 minutes talking to someone that's lonely. There's nothing worse than being invisible to the world.
mhm, mhm. Right. 100%, Becky. Okay. Here's my final thoughts. I am not going to let anybody harm the unhoused, homeless people in Aurora. I'm not. I'm not. I'm not going to do it. If I have to be out there every day with my camera. By the way, I did stop by that same intersection today. When I said I'm going to keep an eye on it, I am going to keep an eye on it, right? No, nothing is going to get by me in the city. You know, when I find out things, I'm going to be there. I'm going to make sure the citizens, all citizens, including our most vulnerable, the homeless people out there, are safe. They're not harassed. If you're doing something criminally, then you deserve to get punished, no doubt. But if you're being peaceful, I guarantee you're going to have a peaceful experience if I'm out there. So, and here's, I always I usually end my live streams with the, we're talking about mental health, Becky. I usually end my streams with this. If you are suffering from your own mental health, please reach out to somebody that you know, love, and trust. In lieu of that, my email is mexicanlonghair@gmail.com. I'm not a counselor, psychiatrist, or a psychologist, but I do listen. And sometimes that helps. But if I don't get back to you in a timely fashion, just remember somebody out there thinks you are their favorite. Hold on to that thought because it could save your life. There's also a national hotline and a North American hotline if you're in Canada. 988. Dial that number if you're in immediate assistance, if you're in need of immediate assistance. All right? It's a simple number. If you're too scared to talk to somebody, you most certainly can text that number and text with somebody. Just remember 988. And let's see what else. Yeah, so there's plenty of options for you. If you're not in the United States and Canada, go to your browser of choice, type in mental health help, click on any of those links, and that it'll get you the help that you need. Don't do anything rash until you talk to somebody. Okay? All right, that's all I got. I want to thank everybody for being up here. I want to thank Sasquatch, who was up here, KT Peta, Nompic. Thank you so much for being up here, and Pinche Becky. I love having these
Thank
type
you.
of discussions, and probably for the next 2 weeks, guys and gals, I'm going to be honest with you. I want to set up the members only stream with conspiracy and play some music for you guys. Um, but I in lieu of like you know going out all the time with that beast of a car that's costing me a lot of money, I'm going to probably have panels like this unless I go out to to that intersection to make sure that those people are, being treated okay. Um, I just want to tell everybody that I'm working for the city and I'm working for all of you. And most importantly, I'm working for myself. This is my calling. This is what I do. I'm a man of many hats. I'm a master of none. But I guarantee anything that you see on this channel is 100% genuine. And it always will be 100%. All right. Thank you, everybody. I really appreciate everybody
Bye,
for
guys.
coming
Thank
up
you
on
so
Bye,
camera.
much.
everybody.
Yep. You
Have a
guys,
good 4th.
everybody in chat, thank you guys. Gregory wants me to read the super chat. He says, "Good job, love you, bro. I love you too, Gregory. Thank you so much for giving me that super chat, and you're awesome. And I do like you, despite what people say, Gregory.
Don't drink and drive,
Yeah,
please.
I'm
That's
freaking
the
sorry.
worst news you can give a mother. Don't
Oh,
drink
I'm
and
a
drive.
master Street Fighter. I used to be Matthew. I used to be. All right, everybody. Have a great day. See you guys on the next video.
Bye,
Bye,
guys.
Be safe.
guys. Take care.
Everybody have a good 4th of July.
Yep, for sure, Numpik. You too, buddy.